stop by for the Nintenbyte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots her beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintenbyte.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. We got a big show for you guys today. Lots of stuff, lots of topics. Well, 3 topics actually this week. We'll see if there's a 4th, but we got some big ones. We're talking about the future of NSO on Switch 2. We're going to also update you on everything happening with Switch 2 because Nintendo did exactly what I thought they were going to do, and they talked about Switch 2 and gave some more details. Some interesting ones that deal with the price, deal with the pre-orders, and yes, of course, they gave us a time for the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. So that's actually exciting. Why they couldn't have just gave us that 2 weeks ago, I don't know. But whatever, They did it today. Part of their phases, I guess. So we'll get into that, and of course, we know all of that because Nintendo had their sales update, and we got a lot to go through with that. Are we excited about it? Are we disappointed by it? What do we think it means? Does it really mean anything? Yada yada. You got all that explanatory material that we'll dive through as well. So first, let's go around the room and introduce everyone. We have our first timer on here, Mr. Robot Joe. Why don't you introduce who the hell you are and what you do so the people know?
Guys, thanks for having me. I am a smaller YouTuber, 15K, but I am a Nintendo-focused YouTuber. Monday through Friday, I do predominantly Nintendo-focused news videos. Every Saturday is an eShop video, and then on Sunday, I like to do like a top 10, hidden gems or RPGs or something entertainment worthy. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Look at that. He makes some original content. It's like the opposite of me. All right, then we got Gamebird back.
Okay, that's way cooler than my
intro. Well, you want to talk about small channels. I'm at the 1.35K.
Hey.
So if you're small, I'm non-existent in this space, but I'm happy to be here.
Exactly.
It's been a rough couple weeks, but then I discovered Stick Fix, and I've been back on track, and I'm glad to be here talking Nintendo. It's going to be a good show.
Nice to have you here, man. Andrew Collette, how's it going, man?
Good. I'm glad we're doing the small YouTubers first because I'm in that camp too. So
yeah,
I don't even have 500,000 subscribers. It's a hard life. No, I'm good. Got my son in the other room watching the Lego movie. Good one for that. And the reason I bring that up is it's the only movie he cries every time when he watches because he forgets that Emmett comes back alive at the end. But anyways, I'm doing good.
That's awesome. Then we got Eric.
Hello. Yeah,
You're here.
That's it. I'm here.
I mean, your camera's not moving, but you're here.
No.
I don't know. It's not moving on my end. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's
Probably
frozen.
not.
Yeah, you are frozen, buddy.
Of course it is.
You can go ahead.
Why not?
You can go ahead and troubleshoot that and have fun because the camera's still on.
Yeah, I know.
So this time I can't yell at the camera.
Yeah.
Usually it's the camera's problem.
It is normally.
Thunderstash, how's it going, buddy?
Excellent. It's been a busy week, as always. A lot to do, a lot of games to play, backlogs to catch up on.
Feel that.
There's just always something going on.
Always.
Mr. Robot Joe, I wanted to tell you that I've been subscribed to your channel for a long time.
Dude, I am so flattered. That is the first time I've ever heard anybody say anything. I'm sure you guys probably know Radical Reggie, Metal Jesus.
Yeah.
He told me the same thing. So I guess you're the second person, but I was like, are you guys pranking me right now? Like,
that's awesome, man.
Truly, thank you so much, man. I'm glad that you find my content even remotely is worth watching.
Well, when Nate was telling me before the show who was coming on, and it didn't click. And then when I saw you, I'm like, oh, dude, I've been subscribed to you for a long time. Like,
that's awesome, man.
How long have you been doing it?
So this is my second channel, but I started this channel. I'm trying to think. My daughter's birthday is August 10th, so I started it'll be 3 years this August. I had another channel before that was like vlogs. I got partnered on that, and then I just quit doing it. Like I was like, I don't like doing this, man. I made this channel. They say it's like whatever, like the path to least resistance, like whatever you really don't try that hard at usually kind of works out.
Yep.
I made this channel just to talk about Pokemon and Scarlet and Violet when it was coming out. I was like, I want to make a video talking about that. And then we've seen how the game came out, but yeah, and then it just started catching on like nonstop. So
Hell yeah.
but yeah, I'm here now. It's starting to pay the bills.
Good.
And I'm glad to be a part of this community. That's actually the most important thing for me. I finally feel like I'm part of something. So thank you so much for that, man. It really means the world.
Yeah. Hey, you got it, man.
Awesome. You guys know what's up with me. Eric will be back in a moment, guys. He's still here, technically.
Right.
He's just sorting out some camera stuff, but he'll have it up here in a moment. I can see he's already got it working. Anyways, so yeah, I'm Nintendo Prime. You guys know what's up by now. I run the show. Have my channel, talk about news all the time. Try to make sure Eric's in here and not dying.
Nice.
Who the hell knows?
I don't know. Sure, fair enough.
That being said, yeah, we're just gonna get going. I don't want to ramble about me. I'm good. So let's get to our topic roulette. And speaking of Eric, since you're back, why don't you pick the first topic, bud?
Can I have my mouse, dog?
No.
No. Can I,
He'll get out here in a
no,
moment.
I know. No, it's fine. I was just trying to open the podcast notes. I had it open, and then
No,
I don't know
see,
when
look
it
at
went.
this unprepared co-host.
Oh no,
He's in the same room.
I had it open. I just couldn't get to it because your dog kept knocking my arm up.
Yeah, there's a touchpad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Blame the dog.
Well, it's the first one that I see. So let's go with what platforms we think are getting added to NSO during Switch 2's lifespan, and what are the top 5 games we want to see.
Hey, is this happen to be the
Great
first time you looked at the notes today?
No.
Okay.
No, I looked at it earlier.
Oh, well, you picked the topic that has no notes, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
It is
Self-explanatory.
It is self-explanatory. All right, let's see. Let's go with who do I want to pick between you two? Damn. See, you both got some. Like he's got the epic mustache, but I like the way that Andrew's hair goes into the beard perfectly.
Sick, dude.
Like it is sick. Man, I can't make this decision. You know what?
I'll make the decision. I feel like Thunder wants to talk about the sales data more.
Thunderstash is the one that my finger landed on. So.
Hey, you know me already, Andrew.
So yeah, nice.
I'll do the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And then Andrew, I guess that leaves you with what?
This big paragraph here because it's been busy. I'm not updated on this stuff. So yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 rumors. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help you out with some of it.
Cool.
Well, actually, it doesn't sound like any of them are actually rumors. It's kind of weird, but I'll help you out with
I guess that's true. Yeah,
because I didn't put as many notes on it because when I was writing it, I was like, I always end up with the Switch 2 topic.
Actually, the more I'm reading it, the more I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, and then I'll take the dealer's choice if we happen to need it. We'll see what's up. I'll figure something out. I come up with the topics every week. I'm sure I can think of something. That being said, Eric.
Yeah.
Actually, fun note about this topic. This was a topic that was submitted by a member on our Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. You guys can go join for as little as $1 a month. And I got to make sure we shout out some of our patrons because if you are in our $5 and up tier, you get shouted out once a month. And we happen to have 5 people that fit that criteria. So I want to thank, let's see here. I want to thank Chris P, Joyce J, Ichi Donley, Ghost Wolf, and Zenith for your support over on Patreon and supporting the show and everything else going on. So thank you guys so much for that. Remember, you guys go join the Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Prime every single week. You can actually submit topics. Usually one will get chosen for the show if there's a good one. All right, let's go ahead and get into this topic now. Submitted by somebody on our Patreon. Eric, what are we talking about?
Okay. We are talking about what platforms we think are getting added to the NSO during Nintendo Switch 2's lifespan. And what are the top 5 games you want to see added to the platform eventually? I mean, for me, the platform I want to see added the most would be Game Gear, because I played the ever-living heck out of that back in the day. I am so sad that I think some screw up happened where I was coming back from somewhere and I put my Game Gear in the back of my mom's car, and not really thinking about it, we drove through Hope. I think it was Hope Gospel, and she's like, "Yep, everything in the back," and I didn't think about it, and I think I donated all my Game Gear and
Oh,
Wow.
so yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's not fun. So to be able to play some of those games again, yeah, that'd be a whole lot of fun. As for games wise, let me just double check a couple things here quick. I mean, while I'm doing that, I mean, anybody else want to throw in at least a system or something?
GameCube.
Boom.
I mean,
Yeah, favorite
Yeah.
console, or at least favorite home console. I mean, I think what Nintendo could do and is doing, as we see they're remastering a lot of GameCube games, but I think they could. We had Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door come out remastered. They could still port over the original, and people would either buy the new one or play the old one. I just think maybe
They
let's
did
say
it with
that-
Link's Awakening.
Great. Oh wow, great point. Yeah, I mean, God, Link's
People would be
Awakening
happy
is so
too.
good.
because then
Yeah.
they'd get their 60 FPS that they were so upset about.
And we seen that patent. What was it? Maybe like 6 or 8 months ago about a new GameCube controller. I think it was for the
Yep.
Switch though. Not even. I mean, I guess technically it doesn't really matter. Switch too, but yeah, I think GameCube just makes the most sense. It's old enough now.
Okay. What
yeah.
games do you want from GameCube?
I mean, I don't want to go cliche, but Wind Waker, like I beat that game. This is my favorite Zelda game. I
There we
think
go.
Hero would be great. I wonder how licensing stuff works for like the third-party stuff, though. That would be kind of a little bit more interesting. But if they could ever work out some kind of licensing for third-party stuff for some of those games that we haven't seen in a while,
That'd be nice. I think
us-
we'd all love to play No Mercy on 64.
Yeah, that would be sick. But all of my favorite Nintendo games are kind of on the GameCube, like Double Dash, Smash Ultimate, Wind Waker. Metroid is cool. It's like not my favorite at all. It's probably unpopular opinion, but
Damn.
yeah, I mean, I just think it makes the most sense too. They could sell the GameCube Nintendo controller, make $1 quadrillion with that. And do you guys think with the Switch 2 mouse sensor thing, we might get some Wii coming on? I know it doesn't really matter. Joy-Cons can act as whatever now, but I just think it might open us up to some stuff like that. Possibly getting Wii ports or a Wii Nintendo Switch Online tier.
I think it more opens up to DS and 3DS.
Great point. I kind of missed the 3DS generation entirely.
Because like there's some games where you're using a stylus the whole time in your right hand. Okay, well that could just be the mouse controller on your screen, touching the touchpad area or whatever
Right.
they put on one screen. And then you still got your right hand for everything else. So I feel like that could be a thing, but it's hard to really know. Because I think a lot of the mouse functionality stuff is probably actually just for modern games, because so many modern games are so much better with a mouse.
Yeah, I don't even know what you'd call
Like
it.
any RTS, like the Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic that just came back today, or a few days ago, like that would be really great with a mouse. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond would be awesome with a mouse. So there's like a lot of situations that it would be really cool. Now I know a lot of people think, well, I'm in the living room. Well, I'm like, I get it, right? Like in some gaming situations that you're not looking for a mouse and keyboard setup, but a lot of people do game at a desk. A lot of people do have a coffee table right there that they wouldn't mind using. So it's one of those, like, you gotta realize not every game's gonna use it, and the games that do it'll always probably just be an option. I don't think it'll ever be like the only input.
Yeah.
Except for Nintendo mini games and Mario Party or something like that. Definitely been the only input for some of those games, but
Super Mario Paint or whatever. Mario, what was it called on Super Nintendo? I think there was like a Mario
Mario
game.
Paint.
Mario
Mhm.
Paint. That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
yeah, that's one that a lot of people go to because that one was literally like mouse controls. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Eric, do you got a list yet? You're still working on it.
Yeah, no.
For your Game Gear, baby.
Yeah, for my Game Gear, I mean, I'm probably got like 3 or 4 Game Gear games, and then I got one 64 game that I want.
Okay.
Or I'll have 2. It's a
Drop
series.
it.
All right. So there was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game that was on the Game Gear that I absolutely loved. I'm trying to figure out whether it was the movie one or if it was the other one. I'm pretty sure it might have been I'm pretty sure it was the movie. That one was a lot of fun. Then I also had MLB. Which one was it? MLB. No, baseball. Come on.
What, Sports Talk Baseball?
No, it was I think it was Was it RBI?
RBI's classic.
Yeah. No, it was World Series baseball, I believe.
Oh yeah, good old World Series. Yeah.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it was World Series. I don't remember if it was the 95 version or if it was the normal version, but that was such a fun game. Actually bringing the Brewers to the World Series, why not? And then Echo the Dolphin. I liked the game. I somehow ended up with the Japanese version, so I don't know what the heck it's about, but I played at least the first level quite a bit. And then with this, honestly, take your pick of Sonic games. I mean, there's plenty of them there. Bring them all. Why not? And then finally, for my 64 game that I want Snowboard Kids and Snowboard Kids 2. I'm gonna speak this into existence. It needs to happen. I'm gonna keep saying it until it does.
Who's the developer again? We talked about this before.
That Atlas for Snowboard Kids.
Yeah,
Atlas.
That's right. So we should be able to get that.
Yeah, that should be something that should be able to get worked out.
There's a lot of people, who love Snowboard Kids. Now I rented it growing up, part 1 and 2, loved it. But there's people that, like, when I was, working in mortgage at Loan Depot, one of my employees that became a friend, Jake, I remember the first time he came in, he's like, "Hey, you got like a ton of video games, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you have Snowboard Kids? Please tell me you do. Please let me borrow it." I'm like, "Yeah, totally, dude. You can borrow it." But he was just like crazy about this game.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
ever played this.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It looks cool.
To a certain extent, there was times where I almost think I enjoyed it better than Mario Kart, which is crazy.
I knew you were going to go there.
Because
I'm waiting for it.
I played the ever-living crap out of Mario Kart 64.
Everybody has.
So,
Yeah.
Man.
but yeah, I'm going to speak that into existence, man. It needs to happen. That game is so much fun, both of them.
Yeah. Why don't we toss it over to Gamebird Classic? After all, it feels like right up your classic mantra over there.
I'll see what I can do. Well, I think the obvious one, Robot Joe already pulled out, was GameCube. I automatically think of games like Star Fox Adventure and Eternal Darkness and stuff like that.
Oh, wow, great point.
I'm gonna go with Sega Saturn, actually. Sega Saturn, those games are extremely expensive. They're hard to find, and despite the console not doing well, it does have a lot of great games. And there are 2 in particular that I would love to see on NSO. The first one is Panzer Dragoon Saga, I believe, which is the big RPG on the console. And then the other, I'm not sure what the subtext on the name is, but there's a Shinobi on that system that has like kind of the Mortal Kombat style with the actor. You're controlling the actor dressed as the ninja, and it's wild and it's a blast. And one of my good friends had a Saturn, and I used to go over to his house and play growing up. And that Sega had a lot of problems at that time. They made a lot of poor decisions. That being said, there are a lot of fantastic games that are lost to that system. And I feel like if there's any place for those games to be, it's going to be NSO. And that's going to be where it serves the best audience, to be honest.
Okay. Andrew.
All right. I'm gonna be the naysayer here. Instead of talking about the consoles that are coming, I'm gonna say what are not coming. And that's the Wii and the 3DS. I think it's too soon. And I think they still got a lot of tit that they could squeeze out of the past consoles. I was just looking at a video the other day. We had on Virtual Console on the Wii. We were playing on the video. and Bomberman games. Like, where the crap are these things? There's still stuff we can get.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna get for sure the DS and GameCube. Now, what games do I want? We need a Mario Strikers game. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got to do the games you don't want on NSO now.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
What's there?
That's how it works, man.
Right. I've fallen for my own trap.
Yep.
We need Mario Strikers. GameCube or Wii.
Please, dude,
Gosh, I just need it on modern console. None of this Battle League. I mean, it's fine, but Mario Strikers deserves more than fine. One that I think will literally explode the internet. It will make it go out for a day. Super Smash Brothers Melee. And that will revive the competitive tournament scene for the grassroots a bit. Although I think that one will not happen. I think Nintendo just does not want to deal with it. I think there's a reason Smash 64 isn't on the NSO. I'm not even sure if we'll get that in the future. If we are, it's going to be, I don't know. They're just so weird when it comes to Smash, and I get it, but it's not what I want. And I would love to play some Melee on the go. I would love to somehow bring a GameCube if they got the wireless, or actually you don't even need wireless. You can just, if they sell that new one, you just stick it in via USB-C. So I guess that would work. Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Gotta have that. Yeah. Those Sonic levels are still great to this day. I don't care what anyone says. I get the arguments for the other ones. I don't mind the Tails and Eggman ones, but yeah, Knuckles and Rogue can go die on their little treasure hunts. I could care less about those ones. But dude, the multiplayer was so fun in those. I love those ones. The racing is good. Once again, the treasure hunt multiplayer can go die somewhere. But yeah, no, the races are good. And the battling, yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyways, I want Mario Galaxy 2 because I'm not too sure if we're gonna get it re-released. I'm not saying that for sure. I'm just saying.
Yeah, some people are thinking the 40th anniversary.
Yeah,
new 3D All Stars or something.
Yeah, I just don't know. 2 is in a unique position. Like, it can go either way. Like, I'm not even convinced. Yeah. So I just want it on there just in case. And I've actually never played it. And Galaxy's my favorite Mario game ever.
Never experienced it, and I love Galaxy.
And I played Galaxy like years late. Like, I don't know how I do know how I missed it. It's because I grew up with a large family, so we didn't buy single player games. So I didn't play the single player game until I was an adult. But anyways, yeah, I don't play on emulator a lot, so I know Galaxy 2 I can get, but I just don't feel like pulling out my Wii and finding it, and it's probably expensive. Anyways, I want to play it. And then Zelda 4 Swords Adventure. This one I for sure want, because I'm not sure if it will ever be remade or ported. Yeah. So I think NSO is its only chance. And I think that'd be really fun to do online multiplayer, because that was like, I really liked that game as a kid, but the problem is I never beat it with multiplayer, because everyone needed a Game Boy Advance. Everyone needed a Game Boy Advance connector. So it was just a very high barrier to entry for a console that didn't sell a ton. So yeah, I just want it to be more accessible. And yeah, I think it'd be fun to play through with my kids, because my kids are too young. They play a Zelda game, and I feel like I failed as a parent because they're just so dumb. And that would be my way to help my ego as a parent until they get older. So yeah, those are my games.
I've been dying for 4 Swords on Switch.
Oh man.
Since day one. But I also feel like 4 Swords would lend itself to the NSO for a Zelda anniversary, maybe Zelda 40th, where they do what they did with Mario 35, and they do a really cool online spin on 4 Sword Adventures, where you're flying through kind of like dungeon runs with other players online. I can see them doing something cool like that, but any form factor of getting a 4 Swords Adventure back, I'm here for.
I mean, they did do. I could be wrong on the title. I think it's Final Fantasy Chronicles that had the same get up on the GameCube, and they remade that, right? So
Crystal Chronicles.
No,
Crystal Chronicles. Thank you.
No, they did not remake that. What they did is release
they destroyed it.
Okay,
destroyed it.
Remake. There we go. I forgot the fingers, but yeah.
Not even remake. No.
You don't need a Game Boy. That's a big win.
It's no. No, actually, it's not. The game. Oh my God, it's bad.
It's so bad.
Did you ever play the original with the Game Boy?
No.
Like, so have you played the remake?
No.
Just, let me tell you,
I'm just.
you will be begging to go back to the Game Boy days. It is so
That's
bad.
good.
It is so bad. Oh man, there's not a single person that played the original that thinks that the remaster is better or even on par. Most people can't even get through it. You get so angry. They fundamentally changed the entire game. It is bad. It's not like Skyward Sword where like they gave you the option to use the control stick, but it's still the same game. This like isn't even the same game.
No,
it is bad.
It's so bad. I mean, multiplayer. Yeah, it was. No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I hear you guys. I'm
You
gonna buy it
truck your
tonight.
sore spot, bringing up that thing we pretend doesn't exist.
I'm gonna buy it tonight because of your guys' recommendation.
He's gonna do a 100% run for his channel.
Yeah, right.
Oh gosh.
He's gonna love it so much. He's gonna come back and be like, "Man,
have fun with that."
Going to howlongtobeat.com. So yeah.
I have no idea actually how long it is to beat it. Especially if you play it solo.
Right.
I don't know. Anyways, I'll go next. I got look, I'm gonna stick a thorn in Andrew's side over here. We is gonna be coming over. How I think it might get announced before GameCube.
Wow.
Why? Because they have a lot more games they can bring over.
Yeah.
Well, GameCube, they can keep remastering the hell out of that stuff. So I think, and I'll even put a date on this, September 26th, a couple months before the anniversary, 20th anniversary of the Wii coming out.
Wow, 20 years.
20 years is old enough to consider it to be classic, right? We were calling the NES classic in the year 2000. Just saying. So, yeah, let's go ahead and say Wii is going to come. And there are going to be a bunch of games. I mean, the obvious is some of the ones like, Galaxy 1 and 2, especially 2 because we still didn't get that brought over. But I'm looking at games that I don't think they're going to do a whole lot with in terms of like remasters and remakes because obviously some they will. Like, I can say Twilight Princess, but then they're probably going to remaster that and remake it because they already did on Wii U. So they'll probably do something like that again. But there are other games that could come back, like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Bring that back. That was back before we were tired of that series. Back when everyone loved it and thought it was amazing. They're never going to remake that thing. Just bring it back. Bring it back. I'm cool with it.
If that were to happen, do you think?
Or leave it.
Wii Sports. I don't think they would bring Wii Sports over then because that would hurt the new Nintendo Sports or whatever they're calling it moving forward.
I think they'll bring Wii Sports over because where you think it hurts them there, it helps them in getting more NSO subscribers.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, the Wii Sports is so good. I feel like
Nintendo
Switch Sports. I felt nothing playing it. I don't know if it was nostalgia for the old game, but I try to play it with my kids, and they're like, "This is."
My kids love resorts, so I can't say or not resort. What is it called? Nintendo
Switch Sports.
Is it Nintendo Switch Sports? I have no idea what it's called, but
sorry, there's been 4 of them. So like you had the original Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. Then on Wii U, they like did some online weird bullshit that you could like rent a game for like an hour, only like a single game in it to play.
Right.
Dude, yeah, it was fucking stupid. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. It was fucking weird. That one can stay there and never come back again. The same thing with the Mario Tennis game on Wii U. That game doesn't need to come back. Nobody wants to see it. But I think Nintendo Switch Sports or like a new one, Nintendo Switch Sports 2 or whatever they release this time, I think it's still going to do just fine. I think there's a lot of kids, and my kids too, that played it, and they never played the original. They weren't even alive back then.
Yeah.
They're not going to care. I think the Wii Sports stuff's more nostalgic than anything.
Right.
New sales for a sports game. Too much, anyways. Could be wrong. Let me see what else for the Wii that I wanted to bring back. The Last Story. They're never bringing that back. That's never getting remastered.
That's a bummer, too.
Yeah. That one's never getting remastered. I want that to come back. By Xseed. One of those exclusive RPGs that landed late in the life.
I have it right behind me.
Oh, that's good.
The Wii was such a sweet console. There's so many good games, so many unique titles on that. Great third-party stuff. I feel like the console, people got so over the the motion controls that I feel like it gets a bad rap. But I think of games like Capcom with like Mad World, and they had like the Deadly Creatures with Billy Bob Thornton doing voiceovers, and Zack and Wiki, one of my favorite third-party Capcom games on a Nintendo console. Just a lot of really cool stuff on that system.
Yeah.
Wario Land Shake It, rad game.
We'll probably get the first story first, right?
You would think so. I don't know how they expect us to play the last story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same way we play the Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
First Fantasy.
Yeah.
A couple more shout outs quick. I want to bring back No More Heroes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Get those ones back. And then one that I know Nintendo's probably never going to remake or remaster. They might, but I doubt it. Super Paper Mario.
That's another
gem
on that system.
So that's like one of those. And there's a lot of these that are on Wii that it's kind of like, I'm not really big enough for Nintendo to ever really fully bring them back in an HD way. But dude, for NSO, perfect. Perfect. I mean, even Galaxy 2, if they decide to bring that back in a different way, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I threw out there. Stash, what are you doing over there? I mean, you got the whole. I mean, do you even need anything? Look at your room. You got it all.
Right. Let me borrow something, man.
Yeah, it would still be fun though to have it on Switch. All right, so I'm gonna go 2 consoles that I'd like to see. GameCube, of course, and the other being Dreamcast.
Dreamcast, great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's got to come. So I'm gonna say for Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure, and I know there's the GameCube Sonic Adventure DX, but there's something right about playing Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. For GameCube, you gotta go Eternal Darkness. Gotta. People need to experience this game. There's generations of people who have never played this. And it's an expensive game. And Nintendo does own the license now.
Wow.
There's no reason for it to not come out. Another one. Everybody should know what I'm going to say. That's Wave Race, Blue Storm. I love Wave Race. I would 100% would love to see that game come out. I'm going to say for Dreamcast, I don't know if anyone's played this. Probably aging myself here. Except for maybe with Nate and Eric. Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, yeah.
With online play. Dude, that would be sick.
That would be sick.
That would be
Oh, man.
amazing.
Nice.
That would be really cool. I thought about saying F-Zero, but really I want the remaster. I don't want a GameCube, emulated version. I want the remaster. So for my last pick, I'm going to go with a game on Dreamcast that I love. First time I ever played it was at the bowling alley in the arcade. And I was hooked. Absolutely hooked. Like I'd try to beat it on 1 quarter and I would after, over time. It's a sports game. I don't love the sport. I don't play it. I play basketball, but I love this game.
I have a guess.
What is it?
Dodgeball?
No.
Oh,
This
that's a fun game.
Oh, dodgeball's great. Yeah.
Is it an American sport?
It's played all over the world.
Uh-oh, it's curling.
Yes.
No, I mean like there's
It's not that hard to beat on 1 quarter. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to think like arcade. Like, is it golf? There's always that golf game at the arcades.
No, it's not Golden Tee. I have the arcade right behind me.
Oh, that's awesome. What is it right behind him? He's got every game in the world behind him.
Ooh, dang.
I don't know what it would be then.
Yeah.
It's played
It was-
all over.
It was in the arcade, a Sega game.
Is it NBA Jam?
No, I have that, but I love NBA Jam, obviously. That's like one of my all-time favorites. But
In the arcade.
yeah, this is in the arcade, and Sega's the developer.
Man,
It's like, ooh, boy.
Dude,
my
this game's so good.
I don't know, say tennis, but I don't know.
Dude, I gotta figure this out now. This is actually making me mad that I
He
don't.
said all around the world too. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, is it Blitz? Because like, but that's U.S. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, what could it be? I'm literally looking at their arcade
Badminton or something.
now.
Like,
And Blitz is by Midway.
Yeah, I know.
Blitz is by
Yeah, I know.
Midway, yep.
Blitz is Midway. Yeah, I know.
Is it some sort of hockey game?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
Damn.
that's a nice try.
Ultimate Disc.
Is it?
All Stars Ultimate Disc. What the hell is that?
Dude, there's a lot of arcade games. Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, right.
it's just like they made a lot of them back in the day.
Well, remember, this was during the Dreamcast era.
Oh,
So literally think 99.99 to 2001 ish. 1-2.
This isn't fishing, is it?
Yes,
right.
No, but Sega Bass Fishing is great, man. But it's not that.
It's fishing, isn't it? Let's see.
Oh, man.
Oh my god,
That looks like a fun game.
You can play this sport 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, and men and women play.
So is it tennis?
tennis.
Yes,
There you go.
As soon
Virtua
as-
Tennis, guys.
Mm.
Virtua Tennis.
Virtua
Oh,
tennis.
yeah.
Okay.
You know how good that game is?
No, because I've never played it.
don't.
I never played it,
Holy shit! Really?
and I was
Guys,
obsessed with the Dreamcast. Yeah.
what? Okay, I kid you not. I kid you not. Like, okay, look,
Oh, don't yell at me, dude. I've never played it.
dude. So when I got the Retroid Pocket 5, one of the first things I did was obviously get Virtua Tennis up and running on this baby. Upscaled it. Looks fantastic. You could literally sit there and play it for hours.
Yeah.
It's also on PlayStation 3. There's like, actually, I have it on the shelf. I bought it on eBay a couple years ago. Dude, it's so good. Guys, I'm telling you, you have to find a way to
Wait.
play Virtua Tennis.
You said you beat this with 1 quarter. Like, who's the final boss? Is it Serena Williams? Shaquille O'Neal? Who is it?
No, there's
Serena
there's
Williams'
5
dad.
stages. Like, legit, you can look it up. There's 5 stages. And I think there's like 10 different tennis players you can select. I'm always the guy from Germany. I forget his Tommy Haas. I don't know shit about tennis. Let me tell you that right now, okay? But I just pulled that name out of the hat because I remember it. Tommy Haas. I don't pick the American because it's Jim Courier. Again, don't know who he is, but he's old. Well, in the game, you know what I mean? Like if it was Agassi or something, I would choose Agassi, right? Or Sampras. But he probably would have been Spain. But at any rate, guys, I'm telling you, it's an excellent game. There was 5 stages in the arcade, so honestly, it wasn't that hard. It really wasn't that hard. I think the last stage is on a clay court, if I remember.
Does that
And
make
it-
it bounce softer?
it's
Is that what it
Wimbledon.
is?
It's the Wimbledon court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, badass game.
Probably fun. Yeah, sounds fun. I don't know.
Now I
Sports
know.
games surprise
Whenever
me.
I meet Thunderstash in person, he's gonna bust out his Retroid Pocket and be like, "You're finally."
I will, dude. I totally will. It's so good. Oh man, it's for real though. Like, there's so many other games I could have mentioned, but I'm like, dude, Virtua Tennis is just so good. I'm glad I did. Now you guys know.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
There we go. There we go. Introducing the world to Virtua Tennis. Everyone.
Right. New generation now.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound good enough. I'm not going to buy it tonight. Sticking with Final Fantasy. Crystal Chronicles.
Have fun with that.
The remake,
Good night, everybody.
The remake one. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that does it for topic one. Oh god.
If I could piggyback off that quickly, what
Oh.
do you guys think the price increase of Nintendo Switch Online would be if they are adding all this? What is it, $50 a year now? 60, something like that?
Yeah, expansion pack is
60,
50,
I think, a
50
year.
or 60.
I think it's 50.
If they were
It's
to add
individual.
GameCube and maybe one other console to start, Sega, something. What do you think?
Maybe
Big?
70 a year,
Yeah.
70?
70 a year, 75 a year.
Do you think that's a fair price? If
Yeah.
they were okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I
honestly,
do
I will
actually.
say it's a much better deal than it initially was. Now, the pushback.
Yeah.
Are you thinking there's a third tier?
I think there will be multiple tiers,
Maybe.
to be honest. If they're adding, and another thing I think they might possibly experiment with is cloud gaming. Maybe some
Yeah.
kind of cloud gaming service this next generation as well. That might be part of Nintendo Switch Online.
Literally the
Yeah.
one thing I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it all. I always push back.
Yeah, it's
against
the
it,
most
but,
powerful system ever. By the way, our classic games you have to play on the cloud. Have a good day.
well, not the classic games. I'm just thinking that could be another service they'll have. Like, hey, you want to? We have this GameCube coming. We have this. We also have a cloud gaming service. It's maybe some kind of beta thing or something. But
So I think there will be a price increase, but I think it's only going to be like $5.
Yeah, I think it's like more of an inflation increase.
Yeah. And what they'll do over time is as they add more platforms, what they'll do is some of the platforms that have been on the expansion pass for a while will just bump down to the basic tier.
I was just about to say that.
that'd be a fair
So
point.
they kind of keep the same tiers, but they're just doing natural price increasing. Because here's the thing, they only have like 34 million subscribers out of their 129 million active. Like they obviously want to get that number up. They would like to be 100 million plus on their sub service the way PlayStation is. So because guys, I know there's not 100 million PS5s, but people are still sub that are over on PS4. So it would be really, really good, I think, for Nintendo to not try to go too crazy with the prices. Clearly, no matter what classic games they add, it doesn't seem to be increasing people joining the sub service.
Right.
Yeah. They need dedicated voice chat. Like that's a huge issue.
Mandatory.
Except dedicated voice chat. Get it off the fucking phone.
Yep.
Get it out of the system. That'll be messaging. You know, if you want to be dicks and lock that behind a sub service, fine. At least you're guaranteeing parents signed up at some point, I'm assuming. So it's one of those things that I think that they just got to add some of the basic features in. As much as I actually really like NSO, I think it's a good value. It's also one of those, but let's just be honest. If they ripped away online gameplay, how many of those 34 million are actually subbed?
Yeah, great point. Yeah.
Do we think base goes up?
What is it, $20?
Yeah.
It's 20 a year. God, it's crazy out.
25 probably, maybe.
Yeah, I think everything just goes up by $5. They just increase everything by 5 across the board. And then, 5 years from now, they'll increase it another 5. And they'll be like low because, like, again, they're trying to grow it. They're not at, like, PlayStation could do it and keep almost everyone. Nintendo, people might go, well, how many online games do I really play? Do I need to keep this?
Yeah, I haven't bought the service in so long. I got the Zelda Switch Lite in October, and they gave me a year. And when that runs out, if they don't add anything new, I'm not renewing it.
Yeah, it was really cool when they started putting in like DLC, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's sick."
Oh
man.
yeah, the Mario Kart DLC. Yeah.
Dude, if they put all the DLC in the future, it'd be great. And then it was just 2 games, that and Animal Crossing. That was it. I'm like, oh well, geez, thanks. Like,
Cool.
This would have been really cool. This would have drove a lot of people to get NSO if we could do all your DLC as part of it. That would be such a money saver for so many, but. No, of course they're not going to do that. They are a for-profit company. They want you to buy the $40. So.
I got a question. Will we ever see games removed from NSO? And I ask this because I recently was reading about Disney Plus and about this movie called Artemis Fowl. I don't know much about it, but it was one of the most expensive movies ever. But the kicker is they had to take it off Disney Plus because even though Disney made it, they still had like in the contracts to pay the director like every month, all this, and their analysts just decided it wasn't worth it. Could we see that with some games, like maybe like sadly like some Rare game, like Rare the company games, like maybe it's just not worth how much they're paying every month?
I think any game Nintendo has full control over, I think just stays because it costs them nothing for it to be there. But anything that's got third-party involvement in any way where there's contractual things in place and say they're paying a fee to them every month, those ones you don't really know because, one, if Nintendo doesn't have control of it, then the other companies can yank it anytime they want. So, like, Nintendo can't do anything about that. It's like, hey, Microsoft comes along and says, no, you can't have Banjo on your service anymore. Well, what can Nintendo do about it? They don't own the rights. So I think stuff like that is possible. Obviously, we haven't had this hit the service yet. I think Nintendo is very. I'd be interested to see how they work out those contracts. If they somehow did get lifetime deals to keep them on their service, because again, Nintendo's like the one service that we haven't seen things removed from. So it's kind of like, man, I wonder if Nintendo, that's just part of what they're doing. They're structuring it differently. But it's hard to imagine that it'll never happen, because never say never. It's only been one gen with this service, right? So never say never. But I think anything that Nintendo controls is probably safe. Everything else, who really knows? Because I don't know what the contracts are like. But look, NSO is a great service. I'm glad that people want to bring it up as a topic to keep talking about. It's like one of those weird things for me that I don't really replay games, so I barely touch NSO service stuff. I like the DLCs included, but even though I bought it separately anyways, I like that, hey, all the 99 games, like those are really fun when we get them.
Oh, yeah.
Those are a nice
Yeah.
New ones are coming.
These cloud saves all the time, but I also don't feel like I should have to pay for cloud backup save, but it is what it is. I only say that because I have free cloud backup on everything in my life except video game consoles. They all want me to pay for it. I don't get it. Anyways, yeah. Here's the thing. I'm really excited for the future of NSO, and I think we should be excited for this next topic. I believe it's going to Stash, because there's a topic he just was dying for today.
Oh, well, let's get this pulled up.
Yeah, you guys ready for a PowerPoint presentation, everyone? We have Mr. Nintendo, Furukawa's son, ready to present Nintendo's financial report.
All right, let's see here. Let's go. There it is. Financial results.
So I actually put a link to this one in the doc. I made it easy. I put the one, I think, with the explanatory material.
All right. Here we go.
Fun stuff.
Nice.
Here we go. Let me fix our stuff. I'm going to make this better.
Okay. So this is always fun. The gold financial report. I was excited for this to come out. It's always a good time. These are numbers that we actually care about. One highlight that we'll cover in here, of course, was finding out how well games like Brothership, Echoes of Wisdom, and Mario Party sold. That was one thing I was really looking forward to here. One thing you guys will see throughout the whole financial report is that there's a lot of negative numbers, and that this is completely natural. This is not a big deal. This is 100% expected, because we're looking at the fiscal year 2024, doing a direct comparison, quarter one through quarter three. Okay. Obviously, when we're going into year 8, everything's going to drop. We know Switch 2 is coming. People know Switch 2 is coming. The software wasn't as strong. We knew that, but we still enjoyed what came out. So we'll move on here. Some of the slides in the beginning aren't like super interesting. I did find this pie chart right here to be interesting. And this just shows the proportion of sales. So in the Americas, about 44% of all the sales were in the United States. And Europe surpassing Japan.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is interesting. I thought that was cool to kind of see. So proportion of sales outside of Japan, as you can see there on the bottom, 76.5. Now, this is where you get into the gross profit. And again, this stuff's like not super interesting unless like you're actually doing the profit and loss report. And trust me, you don't want to. They're not fun. No. Yeah, I used to do them for Islands Restaurant, and it's not fun. P&L 4 times a year, obviously. So yeah, we're going to get through all this. This is not fun. I will say on the consolidated financial forecast, you guys will see that the previous forecast was 1,280 yen. In the modified forecast, of course, is a little less. They dropped it by 7%. And you'll understand why. That's because if you look down here at the bottom at the hardware, the previous forecast for the 2024 fiscal year was to sell 12.5 million Nintendo Switches, and now the modified forecast is 11. So 12% down based on the forecast. And as far as software units, they're expecting to sell 10 million less. And it may seem like a lot, but again, it's really not in direct comparison. It's really only down 12% and 6% for hardware and software. So it's not like they like completely fell off the cliff here.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets more interesting because these are the actual highlights. And I downloaded these reports when they came out, so I have the one that has like explanation on it.
Yeah,
Which is, I like this one better. All right, so here we go. We got pictures now, so it's going to get more fun. All right. So for the hardware, again, they sold 13.7 million Nintendo Switch hardware units. Same time last year, quarter 1 through 3. Right now, we're at 9.54. So again, if I don't really want to go back, but if we go back, the modified forecast is 11 million units. Okay. So they're expecting to sell 1.46 million units in this last quarter, which is, I think, a pretty small number. What do you guys think? Do you think they hit that, or do you think they surpass it?
I think they are under.
I think under as well.
I think they'll be lucky if they sell 1 million. I don't think there's anything compelling happening January to March.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong and it's Xenoblade. I just don't. I don't know. And they've announced Switch 2 now. Like they announced Switch 2 in January. Everyone's looking forward to the direct right after the end of the fiscal year. Kind of feel like sales are gonna drop even more than Nintendo anticipates.
It's January through March too. That's the
slowest
buying times. Yeah.
Yeah. Slowest quarter for retail, and people are just trying to get their taxes done, try and get their refund. They're not spending.
I'm confident they'll get ahead of like 10 mil total. I think they'll get somewhere above that. But
okay,
I agree with Nate. It's a small number, but I have a hard time seeing them hitting it or surpassing it, given that the biggest game that we know of coming out for Switch right now is, a remaster of a Wii U game. And Xenoblade Chronicles X is a sick game. It's awesome. I think everyone should go out and play it. But I feel like it's also a little bit more niche. It's not quite as popular as like the main numbered games in the series.
Not a system seller.
No. Right. I think the best thing they could do to reach some of the bigger numbers by the end of the year is if we do get a Switch Direct this month, get that price drop announcement in.
Yeah.
Get that in sooner than later.
I agree with you.
They hit those goals.
Yeah, I don't think we see a pop in hardware sales until those price cuts happen. Otherwise, I think it's just going to continue.
And if.
I think price cuts and Legends EA.
Yep.
If those happen around the same time, I think that's a good combo.
Yeah.
You see an increase there.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, I think the price cuts are a big if. I think it, like, for a lot of people, it's, of course, there's going to be price cuts. Switch 2's on the horizon, but I mean, Switch has gone about 8 years without a single price cut. I would not be shocked if they wrote it out until Switch 2 launched and then they price cut. But I think the smart thing to hit the numbers would do the cut sooner. We're getting all the Switch 2 details. Switch is going to be kind of an afterthought, at least for the hardcore Nintendo base. I think they'll do good. I think they'll do good if they cut it. It's just a matter of if they will.
I agree with you. I don't expect price cut until Switch 2's out. at the earliest.
Yeah.
It would make sense to do it when it comes out because again, you don't want to have something like what is the OLED $349?
$349, yeah.
Special edition 360.
Yeah, you don't want to like launch Switch 2 at $399 and then have Switch 1 OLED at $350, right? Like
Right.
it should happen in tandem. I think that would make the most sense. And then I think it could get a really good pop around the holidays again, especially if they did a Pokemon bundle. I think that would sell.
Yeah, I think we might get one more special edition before the generation is over.
Yeah, you would think so.
Pokemon
And
makes the most sense.
yeah, I think they talk about it later in the slide too, that they got a really nice bump from the Zelda Switch Lite, which we all thought would happen, right? Because a lot of people double dipped, including myself.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had to.
I was
It's
this
beautiful.
close.
Yeah.
So one thing that was interesting, if you look at these numbers, guys, like right here, is you see the OLED model that had the sharpest drop off.
Oh, wow.
And again, though, if you think about it, right, like the OLED is the higher end Switch, and I think that's geared more towards adults, more towards maybe the hardcore gamer, right? And they know the Switch 2 is coming out, right? And I think that's why this one saw the sharpest drop off, because people are holding right now. They're waiting for Switch 2. They're not going to pick up an OLED right now. Again, some of the highlights here, as far as software, you see Mario Party Jamboree, over 6 million.
Yeah.
Mario Kart just doing what it does, over 5 million. Echoes of Wisdom, I was really happy to see this. What do you guys think of Echoes of Wisdom's numbers there? Almost 4 million.
I think it's about right. I didn't expect more or less around there.
I think it's pretty good. Considering it's a top-down cutesy art style, first time playing as Zelda.
Yeah.
It's not really combat based, it's more of a puzzle focused game. I actually think that's pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, totally. I was impressed by it. I was happy to see it. Nintendo Switch Sports, 2.6 million.
It's actually surprising for me to see. I don't know why. I just feel like the game came and got that initial wave, and I just never hear anybody talk about it at all. But I guess I'm
But it keeps selling. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what you brought up.
Yeah.
Like, the game's evergreen, right? It just keeps selling.
Yeah, it's
Casual
awesome.
family audience for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Wii Sports branding too.
Yeah.
Because like it's not called that, obviously, but it looks like it. It certainly does. And I think people just imagine that, oh, this is Wii Sports, but for the Switch. We love Wii Sports. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Number of million seller titles. So 19 games sold over 1 million. 12 of them being Nintendo, 7 by third parties. So that was cool.
That's just this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, because as far as Nintendo goes, what is it? Is it 72 first party titles that have
They
sold
said
over 1 million?
72.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So nutty.
What's number 2? Maybe PS3 or PS2 that would have the second most sold ever?
Oh, for what?
Million seller?
Yeah, plus 1 million sold. They said Nintendo Switch is the number 1 console to ever sell over 1 million copies for each title. I think the PS2 might be number 2. Probably like 50 games that sold over 1 million, possibly.
I have no clue.
That number is just impressive to me. 72 games. It's great.
Okay, so this is the hardware sell through and annual playing users. This is an interesting one. Like, I think this is an important statistic because, as we know, the Switch has sold a little over 150 million, which is just a massive number. 8 years, and they're saying there's 129 million active users out of that 150 million. Like, that's how many are still playing their Nintendo Switch. Because, you know, people will buy consoles for like one game.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a ton of people are waiting for GTA to come out. They're saying that's when they're going to buy a PS5
Yeah.
to just play GTA, and that's it. And then once they're sick of it, they stop playing it.
Yep.
So that's a pretty wild number. Like, what do you guys think?
It's insane.
The fact that they even went up during like their worst year,
Right.
and it's still
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
like this is their worst year. Like in terms of sales and everything, it's worse than their launch year. That was the previous worst year. So like this is the worst, quote unquote, worst year sales wise and interest wise in Switch, and they still went up by 2 million active users. Like it shows that people are they love what Switch is. They love playing games on it clearly because there's 129 million people doing it. It's not like we're on there watching Netflix. We don't have it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this is one of those metrics Nintendo looks at for why they're anticipating demand to be so high for Switch 2.
Yes.
Because they have maintained 100 million plus audience. I mean, look at this. Number of annual players remains above 100 million. This is 4 years in a row, and it keeps growing.
Mhm.
Like Nintendo's looking at that and going, Switch, dude, everyone's going to want to Switch 2. Look at this. If we're putting all of our exclusive games on Switch 2, holy shit. We have 129 million active players that might want to buy a Switch 2. That's probably the way Nintendo looks at it.
It's insanity, but it makes sense. That's the crazy part. This chart's insane, but it makes sense. It's a hybrid console with some of the most popular games of the generation. I mean, just look at Mario Kart 8 and what that's doing. The god of Nintendo games. I mean, even if Nintendo wasn't my console of choice, I'd still be taking my Switch everywhere with me. Anytime I travel, staying with family, I'd still take it everywhere because the friggin' selection's so good. And I have a Portal as well. I often take both my Switch and Portal, but the experience is so much better on the Switch.
Nothing
beats
beats native.
Yeah, nothing beats native. But yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It's just crazy. Seeing those numbers is nutty.
Yeah, it is. Because like if you look at the operating profit and everything that was in the first, 7 pages, and you see all the numbers dropping, but then we go over here and now you're seeing that, oh, but this actually went up in their worst year. It is really impressive. Now to some of the sales numbers here. And of course, these were the first party games that, released starting in the fall with Echoes of Wisdom. They mentioned it's a wide variety of evergreen titles. And again, 3.4 million for Echoes of Wisdom, 5.6, 1.4. Those aren't the total numbers. Because again, if we go back, these are the actual total numbers, which is a little bit higher.
So the difference between these two numbers, I was hoping this would come up because some people are confused a little bit. So this is sell through. So this is how many sold to actual consumers. The other number is what Nintendo has sold themselves personally out to all the retailers.
Okay.
So Nintendo only cares really about the first number because Nintendo made their money on that already.
Yep.
Right.
But this is like how many consumers actually bought it. So the difference is like how many are still on store shelves as of January.
Yeah.
Is it just me or are those Mario Party numbers kind of nutty?
Yeah. It's the
Well,
Mario Party we should have got at the start.
They are.
What the heck?
fastest selling Mario Party of all time.
Yeah, I
It's
was
like-
going to
Dude,
say.
that is
game.
insane.
There's a slide about Mario Party that
Yeah.
kind of shows the trajectory, and it's pretty cool to see.
I haven't played Jamboree, but I will say that trailer for the game looks significantly better than the last two. I thought.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Looks like a fun one.
And again, you guys can see here. So Mario Party Jamboree, that came out October as well. And you can see Super Mario Party October, Mario Party Superstars October. And obviously, these sales are going up. This is great to see. Again, for a console that is 8 years.
1 month away from 8 years.
Yeah, and your Mario Party is going up now. That's huge. So that's good. It's good to have momentum.
They just have
going
an
into
active
Switch
player
sales.
base, man. You
Yep.
saw it on the prior side. Their player base is active. You keep dropping games, they'll keep buying.
So this one's always of interest for me because I prefer physical. And so I'm always curious, right? How the digital sales are doing. I was talking about this on Twitter today too. I was actually crunching some numbers, but I did the math on all of Nintendo's 27 quarters with Switch 1 and chopped it all up. Overall, it was 52% digital, 48% physical, which amounted to over 700 million physical game sales, which is massive. And again, this just kind of goes to show it was 51% digital. So what I did is I took every single quarter and took the percentage and then divided it by the amount of months, and the average was right around 52% digital. So give or take, it's pretty much a 50-50 split for Nintendo as far as physical and digital. And what's interesting about that is PS5 is at 79% digital, and Xbox is at 91% digital. So that's why this is significant, is that, you know, when it comes to Nintendo, you just got, I think, a lot of old school people that prefer.
I prefer physical myself.
Yeah, we grew up with game cartridges. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we grew up. That's what we want. Like, we want physical games. And so it's just good to see that people are doubling down on that and that it's not a going in the other direction.
Yeah.
And I actually I'll show a screenshot after.
Wait. Can I just say, it's just so funny that Kirby Dream Buffet has highlighted every freaking financial report. Like, who's buying that? Why do they keep highlighting it? I don't know.
Question.
I just wanted to bring that up. I just think it's
Yeah.
funny. It's seriously, it's on there every time. I don't know.
Maybe that's free, isn't it? Isn't that a free game?
No, it's not free.
Isn't it like $15?
You're thinking,
It's like,
it's $15. The free one's like Kirby Clash.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I can see on the game card right here it says full game download. So this looks like a card that you'd buy off the store shelf.
And it's on sale right now for like $10.
Somebody's
That's a little high.
It.
Hey, they got a Nintendo podcast to talk about it for a moment. That's why it's on there.
Yeah.
Marketing.
I just wish we could see those numbers. They only showed the numbers above 1 million, but I'd be fascinated to see.
All the other ones, you're
smaller
like, oh, DLC for Pokemon. Okay. NSO makes sense. Oh, recent games. Cool. And then this Kirby Dream Buffet. Yeah.
And you go on it, and there's no one. You can't. It takes. I can't find anyone when you go on it.
What kind of game is it?
It's like what's it called? Fall
Kirby
Guys,
Fall
except
Guys?
for Kirby. Yeah.
Oh, like an obstacle course type of.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty neat.
It's fun, but like
Sounds like it should be free to
no
play.
one's playing it.
Yeah, you're not gonna play it with anyone.
NSO. That should be a free game on NSO, and it would be doing awesome.
It already is. That's the crazy thing. Like, people online always talk about, man, if like Nintendo really wanted to up sales numbers, they would like chop the price down. Okay, you're not thinking like a business person here. Like, people, like, I see that online all the time.
All the time.
They don't have to. They don't
Hold
care
on.
if they're going to outsell PlayStation 2. They're caring about that profit. They haven't even dropped the Switch price, and they're that close.
Yeah,
Man,
when
they're
people
just
talk about the game sales, I'm like, are you kidding me? Nintendo's game sales outpace everybody else's.
Exactly.
How are those dropping prices working for all the companies that are laying off everyone?
Yeah. And software is where you make the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nintendo
see.
being the right
Tears of the
place.
Kingdom would beat Breath of the Wild if only they did 60. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So 20 million at 70, 21 million. They're good.
So again, we got the first party titles. We've seen this. We've seen this before. Again, February. February is wide open. Wide open for Metroid. Metroid Prime 2. Throw it in there.
Yeah. Didn't they do a surprise drop at the Nintendo Direct when they did Metroid Prime remastered?
Yeah. It was a shadow drop. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see it.
I'm expecting it.
We'll see. Gotta get that direct.
I want 2 and 3
Exactly.
dropped,
think-
shadow dropped,
Yeah. Yeah. I think they've come together.
and that's not
Yeah.
too much to
I
ask.
think they shadow drop it in a package deal, just like they did with Pikmin 1
Yeah.
plus 2 HD.
Okay, then we move on. And, this is in the spot.
Oh, finally.
Say it isn't so.
Nintendo said Switch 2.
I was sweating.
It will be
So-
released in
So
2025.
sexy.
No delays. Still this year.
The C button's still airbrushed out.
That
In
is
this
so
picture.
funny.
Yeah. So can't wait to see what that's going to be about. All right. Again, Nintendo Direct airing April 2nd. As we all know, we got the time for it now.
Yeah. We'll get in that another topic. Yep.
Examples of, expanding.
Man, this park looks
Nintendo
so
IP.
cool, man.
Yeah, this is a good picture.
Oh,
Like,
for
this
like,
just screams fun. Like, let's
Orlando opens up in May.
let's zoom in a little bit and just kind of look at how much fun this family is having.
And my kids,
Like, I
when they
look
watch,
scared.
like, this-
Kids up front.
Yeah, look at
this is available on their like YouTube
Yeah.
Kids or whatever, and
Diddy's
man,
and him.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
feel like this. I feel like this part of the park is doing more than like the other parts, because when I watch it, like they watch it on loop, and the merch, they got Donkey Kong hot dogs, they got. It's,
What?
I'm not
saw,
kidding.
dude.
Yeah, Donkey
Donkey Kong
Dogs.
ice cream, but like since
There's
Donkey
since
Kong
Donkey-
Kizzies.
like Mario is very fantastical, like, oh, you buy like a question block, but like this is like, it's like you're buying like, I don't know how to describe it. It seems like very practical merch, and it just looks so authentic, and
Yeah, has a real
I don't know,
theme to it.
it looks so cool. Like I've never been tempted to go to Japan for just this because the price, but now I'm like, geez, I gotta go.
Dude,
Like,
look at these people down here partying,
Well, again,
throwing
they're
their hands
opening
in the air.
There'll be a Donkey Kong Park open here in the U.S. in May.
Yeah.
That's true. Florida, right?
Can't wait.
The
Yeah,
Florida one's opening. Yep.
I'm going right away, man. I cannot wait.
You got
want-
Cranky over here. Say, y'all need to shut up. You guys are making too much noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Culture, you damn kids.
All right, so moving on.
You don't want to zoom on the family hitting the bongos down in the bottom left corner. What? We're skipping out on the other family.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
hold up, hold
does
up.
that mean it's coming? The game's coming this year?
Oh man, imagine.
Donkey Konga.
I'm just kidding.
No, they have a mini game
Oh.
in that direct. They have a mini game that involves the rhino.
Good job, Nate. Good job on the I Spy.
That's right. We can't be ignoring that other happy family.
Oh, we got a hidden banana here too.
Oh,
It's
look at
literally
that.
hiding behind the tree.
Oh, literally,
man.
random bananas. I love it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh
Dude,
man,
Look at them.
They're having way more fun than the other families.
yeah, they're going.
They need to get the
apeshit.
heck out of there though. 'cause
Dude,
they're
that
about to-
mom.
Yeah, Rhino's will take him out, but
What happened
Yeah.
to her, dude? She
I
looks
mean, the
AI.
person underneath the coaster on the bottom right there, they're running. They got the right idea.
Yeah,
They're getting the
There's a
hell
lot
out of here.
going on here. All right.
there is. It's like where's Waldo?
They put a lot. They put a lot of effort into this
They
random
did, yeah.
slide for a
I would have never looked at it like this.
a random slide just to say, "Hey, we have a DK park." Like, okay, they put a lot into this image that don't need to be there.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Interesting that they're highlighting the Returns final boss.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I want the Kremlins, but
I do too.
Future expansion.
All right.
We got here.
And let me make this a little better there. There we go. So again, yeah, May 22nd.
Yep.
And again, there's dates in May that we've all talked about for Switch 2 possibly releasing. We talked about May 15th, and we've talked about May 22nd.
Yeah.
May 22nd is a Thursday. May 15th obviously is a Thursday.
Could you imagine if they released Switch 2 the same day they open the park?
I mean,
that would be like the ultimate fan event. Like you pick up your Switch 2 in the morning, then go to the park with it.
Or
it would make so much sense.
And it has Street Pass, a new Street Pass.
Wow.
So everyone at the park is Street Passing.
Oh, that would be sick.
That's a good point.
And actually, what you don't notice is that they also integrate the Street Pass with some of this interactive stuff in the park.
Yeah,
too.
like they do with a bracelet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, man.
My
It's
camera
exciting.
broke again, so that's why I'm not.
He's working. He's working on it. Eric didn't die. I promise.
I mean, I kind of feel like it, but
Okay, this stuff's not interesting, so I'm gonna close this. But I got a screenshot I want to pull up real quick. So
Ooh, fancy.
yeah,
A screenshot.
let's see. Here we go.
Where is the screenshot, man? Where could it be?
I found it. Okay.
We can share. Dude, do you have LEDs behind your bed frame, Robot?
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
yeah.
that is sick.
You would believe that I'm actually married.
Yeah, dude, my wife never. She might let me do it. She does like LEDs.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
She
We got
would-
the fancy image here.
So again, this was the digital ratio that I was talking to you guys about. How I took all of these quarters, but let me make this a little bit bigger here.
Wow. So 2020, yeah, quarter two 2020 was going crazy. Oh, the pandemic. Damn,
Pandemic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it peaked at almost 46%, and the lowest, of course, was quarter two 2018 based on this chart here. So obviously this doesn't have everything, but you can see though that in the span of 6 years, it went from basically 16% to 30 only. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Like that's not bad at all. That was it. I just want to show you guys that.
No, it's a good balance. I like the balance Nintendo has. Like, look, digital is convenient. People like it. So people don't live in places where they have a lot of physical retail,
Yeah.
or like they're tired of ordering online, having their games come late. I know that can be really annoying. Some people I know consistently have that problem when they pre-order online. Their games don't show up for like a week. And yeah, some people just, I don't know if they just have an unwavering faith that they're never going to lose access to their games. I don't know.
I can't do it, man.
I feel like that faith has been shattered too many times out in the world, but technically Nintendo hasn't quite shattered it yet. They're working on it with you Wii U owners. They're going to get there. You still can technically download them, but you don't know how much longer they're going to let you do that. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good ratio. You know, they're creeping up to 50-50. I feel like that is a healthy ratio to live at. Obviously, I think it's going to keep leaning more and more digital over time.
It will.
Because it is just really convenient. But one thing, like, Nintendo still has half their audience loves physical, clearly, and because they don't lower the price of their games, often reason there's not like a sales reason to necessarily go digital over physical. So it's just a matter of like for Switch 2, I feel like the biggest thing is going to be, are games, a majority of them, fully playable off the cartridge, or will certain games force you to install anyways just because it's faster? And as long as Nintendo's games continue to be playable, like Nintendo's games that they make playable off the cartridge, I think physical will stick around for a while with Nintendo, just because the convenience. Like the number one convenience of home consoles back in the day used to be put your game in and play. Now it's put your game in and wait. Well, Nintendo Switch is still put your game in and play for the most part for Nintendo's games, because they put their games all on the cartridge. So we'll see. As long as Nintendo continues to do that, I feel like they'll keep physical alive for quite a while. I know a lot of stores love it. Their biggest physical is Nintendo. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, we've talked about this before too. Is that we know what direction Xbox is going in.
Yeah.
Generally, like even if they do have a box, a console that you can play Xbox on, like that is not the main focus next generation.
You'll see more physical Xbox games on the Switch 2 shelf than you'll see on the Xbox shelf.
You actually will. Like if you go to Target, you go to like Walmart, Best Buy, there's like no presence for Xbox physical. But the thing is that the longer Nintendo continues to sell physical, I mean, Xbox is going to be gone. PlayStation's physical presence is dwindling as well at 79% digital now. Point is that Nintendo could eventually have a monopoly on the retail presence, which to me would be huge.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to push anyone out. They left themselves. You got the whole house to yourself everywhere.
I think we could get a almost like a renaissance on physical media here in a few years. Me and my daughter started buying DVDs at this little store for $1. Just it's fun. They're $1. It's like
Cool.
there's something about getting physical media, physical games, physical movies. Streaming is 30 million subscriptions now, and they're all have ads and this and that. So
Yeah.
I do think we could get a not big, but I see physical media coming back a little bit in the next couple of years. Some of it nostalgia, some of it convenience. Xbox, I don't think that's happening, but I could see PlayStation maybe. So I don't know. We'll see what the direction they want to go with the PS6, but
companies prefer digital. They make way more money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but
Yeah.
just from consumers, maybe it's just with age we like physical media more, but
Yeah, well, I think there's an age component to it. A lot of kids are growing up where it's cell phones, tablets,
I
and
imagine.
their Switches or other
Yeah.
systems. They just buy digital because
Yeah.
that's all they even know.
If the physical stuff goes away, and obviously it's going to be a slow death for Nintendo based on the statistics, but those companies like Limited Run Games and IM 8-bit are going to explode.
Yeah,
Because
more
even when you look at like
companies
even when
pop
you
up.
think about like music, like vinyls are still a thing. People love
great
having
point,
the
yeah.
disc, and
Great
they
point.
love the big album art. There's
Yeah,
always going to be a space. There's always going to be a nostalgia for physical media because
exactly.
there's nothing wrong with the current gaming physical media like there was with, I don't know, cassette tapes.
Yeah.
You know, where wear and tear and damage and issues
Yeah.
and having to rewind. Same with VHS tapes and stuff like that. So I think there's always going to be a market for it. I think even when the big three stop doing it, there's going to be companies that are probably going to blow
Yeah,
up that just
great
offer
point.
it.
Yeah,
More
I think
expensive.
the one thing I when I look at that data, it makes me feel very confident that physical will be around with Nintendo for a gen beyond the new one coming.
Sure.
At least one.
Exactly.
Whereas, like, I'm not that confident with PlayStation. I mean, their Pro didn't come with the disc drive.
Oh wow, yeah, great point.
You have to buy that separate. So PS6 could literally come without a disc drive. Now, I'm not saying they won't sell a separate accessory,
Yeah,
optional,
that's a great point.
like they do now. But like they also sell a system, the base PS5 that comes with it. I'm with it being 80-20, we can be 90-10 by the end of the gen. Like they might say, screw it. It ain't worth it for us. We'll make way more money if we just make everyone go digital.
And then you can't refund the games or resell them or
Mhm.
whatever. So
But then it's a monopoly too, because how many games can you get cheaper at the store than you
Yeah.
can on the PlayStation store? But then sometimes vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get a game on PlayStation store for super cheap.
$2 or $3, yeah.
Yeah, and you see it at the store and it's 30. It's like we need that competition,
Yeah.
you know, for all of us.
Yeah.
And the Xbox, it has like a handheld coming up. That's probably digital only. So
I'm sure.
yeah, it's a whole thing where I kind of think there is a chance. I don't trust that physical won't go away entirely for the next gen for the other two. And for Nintendo, though, I feel like, until the people that are watching this show are dead, they'll probably be physical around.
Yeah.
Most of us that care to
And
buy.
them just being like a Japanese company, I feel like they still use fax machines over there. So
Well, and they do a lot of physical
Yeah.
stuff in Japan. I mean,
exactly.
you look at those the fact that, like, yes, they have a high percentage of digital sales there too, but when you actually look at the fact that, like, this generation, all all of these Switch games sold the most they've ever sold. And we're just talking about the physical copies. We're not even talking about the digital sales.
Yeah.
Literally just adding up the media create sales data. It's like, oh yeah, it's the fastest selling game ever for Nintendo. Yeah, especially if we included digital. Like, we're not even including digital because the sales numbers we get out of Japan, guys, for those that don't know, those are not digital sales. Those are only physical.
Yeah.
Like, physical sales are still massive in Japan for Nintendo. It's also going to explain, people wonder, like, well, the sales charts are always dominated by Nintendo. Sony must be sucking. I'm like, well, most people that own a PlayStation also only buy digitally. So they shouldn't perform that well on a physical sales chart. But
100%. I was talking with some guy on Twitter, he was just telling me how I need to understand that, physical is going to be going away, and that basically I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I know this. Everybody knows that it's going away.
Leave me alone.
We're in everything's not going to go the way of PC one day. We know.
Yeah. We know, man. Like, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying I'm going to support physical till the end. And of the big three, Nintendo is going to be the last man standing. And honestly, I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen in the future, but it's probably going to happen around the time that I leave this earth.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to be old. Okay. I'll be like 70 probably by the time it actually happens. And you know what? If I gotta live a handful of my years without physical games, I'll be all right.
Who cares? Yeah, we're downsizing at that age, anyways.
I can see the headline now.
I don't want to go to the store, anyways, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want all digital. I'm good.
The Nintendo Switch 6 is only digital 2070. I can see it now.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man, I don't even want to. I'm not even alive in 2070.
I got a random question for you guys. I don't mean to segue slightly, but you're talking about getting old, dying, physical media going away. You guys ever have this random thought about, I'm getting older too, so I think about my age. I'm like, man, I'm getting old, and then I start.
How old are you? Hold on, before you say that, how old are you?
I'm probably as old as you guys. I'm sure.
How old?
He's not throwing out a number.
Yeah. He won't throw out a number.
Come on, man.
Okay. My first console was the NES.
Okay.
So was mine.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 37.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nate, you're 30.
38.
Going on 38.
38.
How
I'll
old
be
are you?
33. I'll be 33 at the end of the month.
Okay, I'm turning 40 in 3 months. So I got you. I'm the oldest there, aren't I?
Wait, how old's Eric?
Yeah.
37.
Oh gosh, I'm the young one. Jeez. Okay, 33 tomorrow.
There you go.
Oh,
Tomorrow. Why didn't you tell us?
Happy early birthday.
Yeah,
What the
right?
hell?
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
yeah. I'm so excited to play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Really on your
Yeah,
What a great birthday present.
that's a birthday.
We're really
I'm trying to find it physical, by the way.
this.
Yeah, great.
But I had a question. So do you guys ever think about that you're gonna be close to the grave, like it's almost your time, and there's a new Zelda coming out,
Yes.
or something else, and you
Yes.
just like that you're not gonna get to play that next
Yes.
Zelda, or your time is like just before launch.
Yes.
You ever
all
think
the
about
time.
that?
All
Think
the
about
time.
all the time.
Too much.
I'm like, I just
I think
know.
about the emails I'm sending to Nintendo to be like, look, I've been covering and doing this for like 50 fucking years. I'm dying like next week. Can I just get a chance to play this fucking thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I legit have thought about that so much. So it is
Yeah.
funny that you bring it up because, there's literally nothing I can do about it, right? There's nothing any of us can do to stop it. So it sucks because we're just like so powerless in that scenario. And
Yep.
I've totally thought about it like that. Like I die right before the next Nintendo launches or the next Zelda comes out, or like I'm on my deathbed
Yeah.
and I just
Or
want to
something
play it.
happens on the way to the store and it's not instant and this is it. And you're like, I was 1 mile away from the GameStop.
It's such a
That was
shitty,
so close.
it's a shitty, terrible thought, but it's a
It's
real
horrible.
thought.
Yeah. I'm
I
glad
think
I'm
I'm
not
more
the only
scared
one.
that I won't be
that
able to
morbid.
play them more than death. Like
Yeah,
your reaction
absolutely.
times aren't as good.
Absolutely.
I've
All
thought
right.
about that too. It's not
The
fun.
good thing Zelda's mostly that a smash one button and you can win, right? I think it'll be all right.
Right.
I can handle
I mean,
that.
it's one benefit of being a Nintendo fan. They kind of try to cater to the ages. So
I mean, you know,
they cater to me almost being dead and let me play it early.
it's the eyes, right? It's your eyes. You gotta make
That
sure you
too.
can still see. It's arthritis. I mean, if you got bad
Well,
arthritis, man, how you gonna hold the controller?
It's all right.
Nintendo
I don't even need to
smart
play it-
though.
I don't even need to play it myself. Just so you
It-
see.
Nintendo's smart though because they cater a bit to their elderly audience that's been growing up with them. So by the time we're old, they'll have their gimmicks, their vitality sensor. They'll have all the cool stuff for like seniors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
You know what I
just
mean?
rolling it with brainwave thoughts by
Yeah,
then.
brain implant. Yeah.
there's hope.
Download me
hope.
into a Zelda game completely.
Like, let me ask you guys something. At this age, we've all been on the computer for decades, right? On
Right.
keyboards. Are your hands in decent shape from being on the computer so much?
I
Because
think mine is from editing videos. Like I think I'm really starting to feel my wrist lock up and stuff like that.
yeah, because in mortgage, like
I have, last I got tested, I have extreme arthritis in every joint.
Wow.
My hands are great.
crap.
My hands are great. It ain't got nothing to do with the computer stuff. My hands are fine.
yeah, mine hurt a lot. Actually, I'll be honest with you, like
Yeah, I got
because
little aches and pains in mine, but
like it's pretty significant.
Mm.
And I love pain, honestly. I actually like it, oddly enough. Yeah, so like it's pretty
You're one of
significant.
those sickos.
But like,
the way I like it.
Right.
like from basketball, all the times
Sure.
that I've
Jam.
jammed the fingers, right? Like if I just hold my hand straight, like this is how it always is.
Yep.
Wow.
And like this
So
pinky is
that's
just like,
I mean, yep. Yep.
and the amount of like hours I spent on the keyboard for like almost 10 years at Lone Depot each day, just pounding away at emails. Dude, you go home to like hold a controller and your hands just like feel like
Yeah.
horrible. So that is one thing that I think about. I'm just like,
I'm actually excited
I hope
for this,
nothing happens there. I hope
the
my hands
Switch-
are good.
the Switch 2 to be a little bigger. The Joy-Cons actually hurt my hands a lot playing the Switch. Like my hands are massive.
They do too. I talked
yeah.
about this. They like dig in right
Yeah.
here on my hand. So then I ended up getting a nitro deck, and that feels way better.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah, that actually fixed that whole dilemma, thankfully. So, all right, we should probably stop talking about how old we are.
We're ancient. It's over for us.
my day.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to our next topic then.
That was so
Andrew.
loud.
Oh my gosh, we're talking about something.
Oh my gosh, yes we are. I'm pulling it up, and it looks like. We just found out we're having a Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in April. Totally didn't know about that. Okay, first of all, was this just mean? I think it was. I was like,
Posted today.
direct
yeah.
to tomorrow.
Yeah, they're trolling a little bit with that.
Yeah,
I like
This-
it.
yeah.
We hurt the ones we love the most. That's how I see it.
Does this affect possibility? I don't know. I'm a little. I still think February Direct's gonna happen, but it
Yeah, I think
did kind
next
of
week.
lower my hope a little.
There's
Anyone
supposed to be
else?
the Sony State of Play possibly next week. I think we could also get a Direct next week
Yeah,
as
the
well.
state of play is rumored to be on Friday next week.
Yeah.
I think there's still a direct this month for sure. I'm only saying this because I had no reason to doubt Nate the Hate, and some people started yelling at him, and he's like, "Dude, I only said it's this month. Have we gotten to the end of the fucking month yet?" I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah, seeing that, yeah.
that attitude with the Switch 2 reveal." So I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? Nate the Hate's pretty fucking confident there's one this month, so I'm gonna go with Nate the Hate being right.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was more like I've just been hearing talks. I don't know.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
didn't hear
people
the
suspected
defensives.
it.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people thought it might be this week, but it was all speculation. There was no actual rumors for it this week. It was just like, well, they have a maintenance on this time, and it's always on a Wednesday. It's this and it's that. And there's an investors meeting. I'm like, okay, but none of that has anything to do with a direct actually this week.
Yeah. Sony has a knack too in recent years for doing state of plays literally right after a Nintendo Direct. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah. Sometimes it's even same day, like an hour later.
That's true.
It's interesting.
That's what I'm thinking.
So
next week.
Maybe Sony knows something and they're like, "Hey, Nintendo's coming. Let's do it right after."
I don't think it'd be the same week as Pokemon because we already know that leaked from Niantic that they're having a Pokemon Presents on the 27th. Yeah. So, which isn't a surprise. Oh my gosh, they're doing a Pokemon.
We didn't need the leak
on the same day. They always do a Pokemon Presents. Who the fuck? Right. Anyways, I don't think they'll do a direct that same week because of the Pokemon stuff. So I kind of feel like it's either next week or it's the week before. They've done the week before the Pokemon stuff a number of times in the past, but I mean they could do next week too. You know, it's a Switch 1 Direct, right? So
yeah, I think it's gonna be or possibly like a mini direct, almost like a 10 or 15 minute Nintendo Switch presentation, and then possibly how we got that partner indie showcase
combo.
Yeah, the combo was a partner and indie showcase.
Yeah, it was a partner in Indie World.
Yeah, so I think maybe like 10 or 15 minutes regular Nintendo Direct, and then maybe some third party stuff. Maybe in Indie World. I just don't know how much.
Exactly. They got 10 to 15 minutes of Nintendo stuff, and then they got third party. That's what a direct is. That's literally
yeah, true. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, nothing's announced right now, just rumored. But we'll see. All right. What are we really talking about, Andrew?
Okay, let's talk about some other updates. So, wait, you made it sound like I was supposed to talk about something hype. I'm about to talk about manufacturing. Is that what we're doing? Well, you're like, what are we going to really talk about? Like, let's get to the good one.
Right. As an example, yes, obviously they reminded us about the direct coming in April. Today's the day they gave us the time for that direct.
Oh, yes, that's true.
We did not know the time before. So it is.
Were we surprised? I wasn't.
I'm glad it's early.
I mean,
I'm not.
It could have been 8. They've done a lot of them at 8 a.m. Pacific, but I get.
But like, how much does that change our lives?
Well, last time,
geez, 2
last
hour
time
difference.
It was at night.
It's going to change the game.
Yeah,
the big Switch.
What was that?
The first Switch, right?
Was at night.
Yeah,
that's prime time.
Yeah,
it makes a difference for me because I gotta be live streaming while my kids gotta get on the bus. That's an inconvenience.
Okay, I guess that's true.
About me, Nintendo,
right?
No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. No, I like that. One thing I like about it being early is a lot of us guys. It's right when we wake up. It's time to go, baby. That's fun.
That's gonna be a fun day.
You don't have to wait all day, and I know the hype, the anticipation can be really cool, but you don't gotta wait all day. It's you wake up, you get it, and you get to spend most of that day doing talking to all your friends online about all the cool shit you just saw. Yeah, and then you can end it with the Nintenbyte podcast. So beautiful day.
We're working a double on that day.
Yeah.
I'm on the West Coast.
The video I'm gonna have to put out in there. It's crazy.
I'm on the West Coast. I'm sick of these 6 a.m. directs, man. Friggin'
that is pretty brutal.
I crawl out of bed 5:30, half hour before. I feel like I was in a car accident the previous night, smashing into things, not sure. My wife's a morning person, so.
I kept thinking.
I wish I could do that.
If I lived on the West Coast, because I got to do at least a 2-hour pre-show. I'm live then at 4 a.m. if I was on the West Coast.
Yeah,
I'm waking up at 3. I don't know if I like that. That don't fly for me. Now, I mean, I'm waking up at 5 this time to go live at 6 a.m. my time. Oh, it'll be all right.
Well, at least they're not Marvel. Marvel just
right.
Wake up! We stream in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What Marvel just did with Fantastic Four yesterday is they announced a live stream for the new trailer at 4 a.m. Pacific. And then it happened at 4 a.m. Pacific, and it was an hour countdown. just slap in the face. Anyways.
Brutal.
All right, let's get to the next update. So we got Nintendo plans to meet demand with manufacturing for launch, but is also working on something to deal with scalpers.
Yeah.
How does the panel want to deal with them?
They said maybe even legal action.
Dude, that will be the day.
Yeah.
Scalping shit should be illegal. Period.
Yeah.
It
sucks,
is so jacked up.
But in the
I don't-
United
I-
States, it is
Yeah.
not. So
Right.
they can't do anything about
Right.
it here
That's
in terms
the
of
thing,
legal.
yeah.
But they basically hinted that there's something. They're doing something besides just providing a shit ton of systems. Well, they're not telling us what that something is. And I think it's a good idea not to, because that gives the bots and the scalpers time to find a way around it, right? So as inconvenient as it might be for us if we have to use like an NSO account or if we have to do this, at least everyone's on the same playing field the day of the pre-orders, because I don't think they'll announce it till the day of the pre-order. Like if it's April 2nd, that's when pre-orders go up. Cool. We'll know what they did to combat scalping that same day, but scalpers and us have to deal with it. So I feel like that will kind of level the ground a bit. But what it's going to be, I don't know. I know Paul Gale put out there the whole NSO thing where he thinks there should be like a week where only NSO members can pre-order. A lot of people didn't like that idea, which considering that NSO members only make up like 1/5 of the Switch audience. So like I can see where that's kind of like a lot of people don't ever pay for online, and now you're telling them they have less of a chance to get a system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. What didn't PlayStation do something last year with? Sorry, I'm not as much of a PlayStation head. What happened?
They had like an early pre-order for the PlayStation Network subscribers, but they botched.
Was it pre-order for the Pro? What was it?
So it was for the 30th anniversary, and it was in Japan.
Oh yeah.
It was in Japan, and it was
That's
if you're a PlayStation Plus. It might have been premium. It might have been. I'd
I think
have
it was
to look.
premium, yeah.
Because if it's Plus, I mean, dude, that's a lot of people, so it's really not exclusive. I think it was premium. Got first dibs on it.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like Nintendo already kind of does that. Like, you can't get their controllers unless you're an online member.
See, I think if they do anything with NSO, it should just be like Nintendo's online store. If you pre-order through there, maybe that's NSO only.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then you're not blocking all other retail.
Yeah.
You know.
If they plan on shipping out a shit ton of units for launch, they're preparing for high sales.
He's brought that
And
up.
they do a small early, even if it's like a day early for NSO subscribers. I don't see that affecting in a negative way Nintendo gamers that much. I think there's a way to kind of do something like that where maybe it's the first 24 hours or the first 48 hours. It doesn't have to be a full week of NSO subscribers having first dibs on the console. But I don't know. They got to do something, because if I don't get a Switch day one, I'm going to be pissed off and I'm going to wait longer.
And I know some people out there might go, well, what about the queues? Because during 2020, 2021, we started getting a lot of queues for PlayStation 5, even at like retailers. But like, man, the bots still got around. Like they still got around it. It's one of those things that the biggest thing is that it's legal. It's not illegal in the United States. It's a legal thing, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it would involve taking away consumer rights where you own your thing and can resell it. That is a consumer right. So it's really, really hard to like get rid of it. I know some people talk about, retailers limiting to one per person. I've already heard some retailers are already going to be doing that anyways.
Yeah.
But again, in-person pre-orders, I don't think have ever been the major thing with scalping. It's the online. It's limited to one person. Like, yeah, but they can make unlimited accounts.
Yeah.
And
I think the issue with doing early pre-orders on the Nintendo website is look at what happened when they did the Expo event sign up. A lot of people, the site was just crashing, couldn't load. I put in my vouchers for that, or my voucher for that. It took me about 45 minutes before I was able to submit a voucher to participate.
Yeah, well, at least that one was technically random selection, but the waitlist wasn't. The waitlist wasn't. The site crashed for me for the waitlist, and I couldn't get on right away, so that sucked. But look, websites are going to crash for the pre-orders. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
They're all going to struggle. Carts are not going to check out. Obviously, I tell people, pay attention to Jake Randall for that stuff. He's very good at combating scalping and getting around it, but that doesn't fix Nintendo. The only thing I'll say about this, whatever Nintendo is going to do, is at least one, they recognize it and they want to do something about it because they don't have to. A sale's a sale for them.
Yeah,
they get their money either way. But they recognize that, hey, yeah, the sale's a sale, but there's a difference between a sale's a sale and a sale for someone who's going to buy a game, because they make more money if it gets into a consumer hand that wants to play games than they do if it just sits in someone's garage waiting to be sold, right? Or waiting to be resold. So Nintendo does have some incentive to want to get more of it into legit consumers' hands. And yeah, I do think their number one thing was to say, hey, there's going to be constant restocks. Like we're going to have several million, we're ready to go. Like there's already some analysts out there think Nintendo's going to sell between 19 to 24 million in its first 12 months. Like that is a record. No system's ever done that. So like if that is what analysts are projecting, if Nintendo's been in mass production since October of last year, which it looks like we have the sales data to back that up, they're already going to have potentially 6 million or so of these bad boys ready to go day one worldwide. So,
Nate, you mentioned something interesting about how they talked about, like restocks and stuff like that. I would love for them to mention that in the Switch 2 Direct.
Yeah,
just drop that. Just bring it up. Be like, listen, and we want to make sure everyone is able to get their hands on a Switch 2 as soon as possible. We're going to be having restocks throughout the year. Don't worry, you're going to be able to play this year. It's not going to be in limited quantities.
All they have to say is we will be doing consistent weekly restocks at relevant retailers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people don't go to the scalpers and just like, I just got to wait a handful of days till the restock. All right.
Yeah. And just to put that thought in scalpers' minds, like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't buy 1,000 Switch 2s.
I think
they sell.
They still will.
They still will, but like,
I can't wait for the one that gets their hands on like 100 of them, and then nobody buys them, and he's got to eat it.
I love that.
Oh,
that makes me feel so good in the morning.
It's so satisfying, like watching it. Oh, we're trying to it happens with the GPUs sometimes. Like they buy a shitload of them, and they're like, oh, we got like 50 of them, and we're trying to sell them at like quadruple the value. And you come back, they're still trying to sell them a week later, and now they're selling it for less than MSRP. And I'm like, fuck you, man.
So satisfying.
Oh, it's so good that you're now cutting losses because you can't sell them. It's great.
All right,
that's Nintendo's goal for sure. I think that's what they want to happen. The scalpers just get fucked.
And Nintendo reaps the benefits.
Yeah, Nintendo gets something with benefits from it. So
laughing to the bank. Yeah.
All right, what's the next point here, Andrew?
Yeah, this one I'm going to need some help on. So we got Nintendo reiterated as well that exclusive games sell systems. Phil Spencer would like a word. And seems very unlikely Nintendo is going to do a Sony-style cross-gen strategy past launch day. What was that Sony strategy for people like me that don't know?
Very unlikely that they're going to. So Sony's strategy, and it's been this way for a couple of gens, is that they go cross-gen with everything for years. They have barely any exclusives. It's all cross-gen for years and years and years. Because
I see.
And I noted this in a prior episode because Sony's more reliant on third parties selling their system than their own games.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to maximize their revenue on their games because they spend a lot of money to make their games, right? So they want to get it out to as many people as possible day one. And Sony's games have never been evergreen. So they've never really been able to sell them past the initial month. So it kind of makes sense. You're not going to put a game that you spent $200 million to make on a system that only has 5 million owners. Like, you're just not going to do that. You're just going to lose money doing that because you're not going to sell anything past the first month. So it makes sense that Sony does it that way. But Nintendo, this goes back even to like Iwata. He used to be a big proponent of exclusive games sell hardware.
Yeah.
And Furukawa came out and said, yeah, we're still going to be making some games for Switch, and we're still trying to sell Switch games. And we have two games already announced, after March for this year for Switch. But he just went on to say, but absolutely, we're putting exclusive games on Switch too. Like, it was like an emphatic, like, because people were wondering, hey, are you going to do this cross-gen strategy?
Yeah.
Because there are people out there that even think the Mario Kart's going to be cross-gen. He just straight out, okay, no, exclusive games are happening for Switch 2 because that's how we sell systems. And they're the only company that feels that way. And to be fair to them, they're also the only company where their games are evergreen. So why wouldn't they feel that way?
Yeah.
They have every reason to feel their games sell their system. They averaged releasing an exclusive Nintendo published game every month for the entire existence of Switch.
It's insane.
How do you think they got to 72 plus million sellers?
Yeah.
Because they kept putting out a game every month and it kept selling. So I to me, when I read his words, I was like, man, he's kind of just saying we ain't trying to. By the way, it's not that Nintendo doesn't ever do cross-gen, but it's always like launch day. Like they'll have to do like one game that's maybe cross-gen on launch, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then it's all just exclusives at that point. That's just what Nintendo does. It's gonna be ports, remasters, of course, but you know.
Well, if Switch 2 can run Switch games with improved visuals, improved performance, they really don't need to do anything cross-gen, because they could still continue for at least that first year of Switch 2, release some great Switch titles and be like, hey, these run and look better on Switch 2. You know, Switch 2 is backwards compatible. Enjoy these great Switch games, but you're going to want to Switch 2 because these games run better and we have these bitchin' exclusives that you can't play on Switch. So
yeah, that'd be a huge selling point. Absolutely, to upgrade. Like even if you don't like any of the games coming out, like, oh, you're not interested in that new Mario Kart, the new 3D Mario maybe isn't tickling your fan. Yeah, but dude, how many games do you own on Switch? They all run better.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
a little bit sharper visuals.
Huge. Be huge. Yeah. So that's kind of what he seemed to be hinting at. They're going with a lot of exclusives like they always do, which I think should be expected. But I think there were some legitimate people out there being like, yeah, well, Nintendo's never had a gen like Switch, so they're going to go cross-gen for a long time. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. Nintendo, when they release games, they're worried about sales for the next 8 years. They're not worried about just right now.
Yeah.
And they're still going to, by the way, Furukawa said it, they're still going to put some games on Switch. Like, they're not done with Switch.
Yeah, as long as the demand is there. I think that's what he said.
Yeah. He said, how long are you going to continue to sell Switch? As long as the demand is there. So they're going to try to keep that demand going. They're just not going to be putting a lot more. I don't think there's a lot of big swings left for it. I think ZA and Metroid Prime 4 are probably the biggest from Nintendo. We might get another like smaller franchise that comes back or something. And then I think it's just things like Wind Waker HD and that kind of ilk that we'll see from Nintendo. Now, what third parties and indie devs do with it, who knows?
Yeah.
But, that's up to them. They might keep it alive even longer than Nintendo does, depending on sales. So,
for sure.
I mean, maybe the hentai games are all waiting for the day that they're the only search result.
Right.
On Switch, you go on there and it's all hentai. Finally, we have our day in the sun. Woo! We're the top 10 sellers because nothing new is released in 5 years.
That could be one of the titles. Our Day in the Sun.
Our Day in the Sun. There it is.
It's a good one.
Do we want to talk about this next bullet point about price? I feel like we've already talked about price a bit.
Well, so the interesting thing with that bullet point, the only new point that he brought up, because everyone's wondering what this thing is going to cost, right? And unfortunately, we didn't get that news today. Sounds like they might not even be locked in yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Kind of sounded like he's not even sure if what they're going to do yet, but it sounds like it'll be announced in April. But the big thing here was he talked about how we don't just have to consider all the economic factors, like exchange rates, inflation, the tariffs. Sure. And he commented on the tariffs a little bit, how they're not even worried about it because they make shit in Cambodia and they make stuff in Vietnam. So he's like, we kind of prepared for this. We're not really even worried about the tariffs. But he did say, in addition to considering all that stuff, this I think is cool. He's also considering consumer expectation that Nintendo stuff is affordable.
Yeah.
Because there is an expectation from consumers that Nintendo products are not going to be too expensive. The console itself. So it's interesting when you think about that, because that is something that no one really knew. Is Nintendo considering that? Or are they only considering, hey, we got to charge more because it costs more to make this thing. Inflation's kicking our ass, tariffs. We got to make this thing $500 because, hey, that's just what it costs for it to be even break even. Yeah. Or would Nintendo consider possibly taking a loss if they needed to, if it meant it came in at a more consumer-friendly price point that consumers expect? Because if you think about it right now, OLED's the number one seller for them, and it's at $350. there was a time that wasn't a price point Nintendo could sell things at.
Yeah, fair point.
But Switch, they were able to. So to me, look, this doesn't tell us what the price is going to be, but I do think it puts a cap on how high it can be if Nintendo is actually considering what consumers can actually afford.
Yeah, I'm thinking $379 is what I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm thinking it's really hard to go above 400 if you're going to consider consumers.
Exactly,
Like,
because you're with Xbox and PlayStation at that price.
Yeah, it keeps you separate from the all digital PS5 at $450. Yeah, you could say, well, it's more than a Series S. Okay, but no one cares about the Xbox Series S. Let's just be honest. Like they just don't. I don't think Nintendo's worried about it. The Switch OLED's more expensive than the Xbox Series S already, and it sells better than it. So, but you gotta keep a little gap between that and some of the handheld PCs as well that are around 450, 500. I think that helps as well, just for like mind share and consumers' mind. But again, we talked about the price a lot because we don't know what it is. But I thought it was just an interesting point that Nintendo is actually considering, hey, what can consumers actually afford to buy? I think that's important because, hey, as much as the money sucks for these corporations and they make less profits, what is it like on the consumer, man? When everything goes up in price, what can we actually afford? Like, I know me, yeah, I'll buy one. But I think about the more general audience. Like, are they going to justify buying one at that
Do you
price?
think first-party games go up $10 the next generation?
Probably.
What if they
Big ones.
What if they stick with the more premium price on the hardware, but they keep the software cost what it is
Well,
this gen?
I mean, what do you mean? They did $70 already this gen.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that was
once.
testing it out.
Yeah,
Once,
but I think that was a test, to be like, can we put our top selling games at that price and get away with it? And I kind of feel like they feel like, oh yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So I think
Where do they make their money too?
I don't think everything will be 70, to be clear. But like the 3D Mario game, that wouldn't shock me if it's 70. Mario Kart, I kind of wonder if they'll keep that at 60 because they plan to do so much DLC probably for it. I'd be interested to see if they maybe keep that one at 60, just because that's going to be such a long supported game that they make extra money from.
There's a handful of games that for whatever reason I have a hard time seeing at $70. Mario Kart's one of them. Animal Crossing is another one where I'm trying to picture what justifies a $70 Animal Crossing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
unless they
justification for
money. Profit, sure.
So you can pay $60 for games for 20 plus years. It's time to increase the price. Only $10.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo is we're gonna see a lot more games at 70. I don't know if they're gonna blanket it, but I mean that's probably their goal some days to blanket it.
Sure.
On everything. But I think they're gonna start it slow, and then over the course of the generation, all of a sudden, oh, why is this Kirby game 70? But then they're like, they were careful about it. It wasn't any Kirby game. It was the next 3D Kirby game. So they're like, oh.
Dream Buffet 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Dream
I'm
Buffet.
just kidding. No.
That's the one. That's 70. But no, yeah. So that's my thought on it. I actually want to hear what Stash has to think about that. The 70 price.
Well, it's tough. I think you got to be selective with it. I do. I think if you price at $70 across the board, you're definitely not going to sell as much software, which sucks. I think some people are going to get sticker shock from it.
Yeah.
But I think you can look across the way at PlayStation and how some of the developers handle their pricing. There's brand new games that come out on PlayStation that are $59. They're not all 70. The real big ones are 70. And, no problem paying that. Like, Monster Hunter Wilds comes out at the end of the month on the 28th. Who's going to have a problem paying $70 for a game that if you want to 100% it, right? You could spend 400 to 500 hours in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can't find that type of value on entertainment anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, my lady was talking to me yesterday. She's like, I've been thinking about getting Apple TV, right? And I'm like, okay, which one are we getting rid of? I just wanted to see if she was thinking along the same lines. I figured she probably wasn't. She just wants more.
Yeah, right.
But I figured I'd throw it out there. And she's like, well, of course, she wasn't thinking about getting rid of anything.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go to a movie last week for our anniversary.
Sure.
I look at the movies. I'm like, God, there's just a bunch of crap. This is all crap. I don't want to see any of this, right? Like, zero interest.
Sure.
Gladiator 2 was no longer in the theater. Also heard mixed stuff on it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go see that. I keep reminding her we have a home theater in the house. This is literally like why I got it, right? Because you can't trust movies these days. Like, they don't make them as good as they used to, in my opinion. So I was talking to her about that, and I was like, well, how much is it? You said it's $100 if you do it for the year. Otherwise, it's $10 a month, right? So $120. See, $20 savings. I'm like, $100 a year is not thinking that's not bad at all, right? But as I was explaining it to her, I was like, well, think about it this way. If we would have went to the movies, right? We have no idea if the movie's going to be good. We ended up not going, but you go to the theater, you drive there. Obviously, we live out in the mountains. So you drive there, you drive back. That's a cost. The movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know how expensive movies are.
Yeah.
And if you have kids,
You
don't. You guys
easily
do.
pay $100.
Oh, $100
to see a movie.
Snacks, food,
Period.
and everything.
Yeah. Period.
Right.
If you bring your kids every time. Yeah.
So I said, look, let's just say all said and done, it's like, I don't know, $60, right? To get a drink, popcorn, the movies, drive there and back. Might be more, whatever. But that's for 2 hours. And it's gonna be like hour and a half drive time total. But 2 hours to go see a movie, and we have no idea if it's gonna be good, versus, okay, you spend $100 for the whole year towards entertainment for something like Apple TV. I'm like, how many hours do you get? What shows do you want to watch? Tell me what shows. She starts telling me. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
Did she say Severance?
Of course.
Oh,
I actually said to her, I'm like,
seasons?
what shows? I said, besides Severance, because I already know you want to see that, and I want to see it because I haven't watched it.
Any chance I have to talk about it, I just had to mention it.
Silo is another good one on there.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. So
No rocks. Yeah.
I was explaining that to her, and I said, this is why when sometimes I've talked to her about like the video game prices, I'll talk to her about things she probably doesn't care about. But when the internet was crying about these $70 game prices when it first happened, I was talking to her about that. I'm like, I remember buying Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on N64 for $79.99 at Toys R Us. That's how much it was when it came out here in the US. And it was a lot of money. But I said, I don't think people understand the whole entertainment equation, right? If you spend $70 on a 100-hour game, just do the math. It's very easy.
Yeah.
That's how much it costs per hour. But people are willing to go see some shitty movie and buy popcorn and a large soda and spend how much? You know what I'm saying?
I still like going to the movie theater.
Look, I do too.
Dude, even when it's a bad movie, I'm like, yeah, right. This movie's kind of lame, but you know what? I'm gonna really enjoy the movie theater popcorn right now.
Yeah, the popcorn's great. I mean, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just something about, even if you got like the right popper at home and everything, it just isn't the same.
Do you put I don't know about you guys, do you put jalapenos?
My wife does.
Yeah. So they have them out there, at AMC or Harkins. They have jalapenos out. Dude, that is so good on your popcorn if you've never tried it.
Well,
I can't do it, man. I'm eating
something
all this
new I need
candy
to
and
try.
soda and that.
Yeah, we
And that
did it.
cranked over.
We did like a year or two ago, maybe, and ever since I was hooked. So yeah,
I'm
give it
gonna
a
have
try.
to try that. I'm gonna have to try that. Well, to step up my popcorn game. God damn. Didn't even know that's
Yeah.
what was
Levels-
happening.
There's levels to it.
So hey, my point is, if it's $70, it's okay. If it's
Yeah.
worth it, if
Yeah,
it
if it's
makes
worth it, yeah.
sense, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like if like you can't be charging $70
I
for
think the port of Mortal Kombat was $70 on the
yeah,
Switch.
Oh,
like
Yeah,
make it worth it,
is
guys.
Crazy.
Yeah, the
Now
developers
it's
need to make
like
it worth it.
$15 on the eShop.
well, I want to be clear. All these third-party games that charge 70, you could just wait a month. They'll be half off.
Yeah, Ubisoft, EA.
Ubisoft.
Nintendo's the one that ain't
Yeah.
gonna drop the price, but everyone else will.
Yeah. And I wait every time, unless it's first party Nintendo. Even on my PS5, I'm the most patient gamer. I don't think I ever buy PS5 games generally when they first come out, unless it's something I'm dying to play. But I'll just wait.
Yeah, too bad we don't have the greatest hits anymore.
Well, I'll have one last shout out for
real good.
Apple TV, Mythic Quest.
I've been thinking about watching that.
It's so good. If you like video games, guys, or if you ever grew up and played like an MMO, ever specifically, oh my god, it is hilarious. It is.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I think
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I used to love MMOs back in the day.
Is it better than Shrinking, Nate?
Oh yeah, that's on our list too.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, but they're very different kind of shows. I would say
They're both
Mythic-
comedies. That's why I asked.
Yeah. But this one leans like because like Shrinking's more of like it's a comedy but semi-serious. I don't know if there's anything serious in Mythic Quest. It's kind of like the new Community. If you guys remember that, show.
Of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
That's probably a more apt comparison for Mythic Quest. But it's about a video game development studio. It's hilarious.
So there's a lot of good stuff to watch.
Yeah. Apple TV's got some quality stuff on it. Yeah.
Yeah, for $100 for a year, it seems like a steal in the entertainment equation of it because you actually save money because you're not going out, right?
is there ads on Apple TV?
No,
No.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I looked
Wow.
that up. Yeah,
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because then you're not wasting time watching ads. which-
that's
Yeah.
Who wants
actually
to do
not
that?
bad at all.
And they keep making those ads worse. It started off with like 1 20-second ad. Now there's like 3.
Yeah.
Now you're doing like 6 minutes of ads.
Not
in
only
between.
that, but the ads suck. Like compared
Yeah,
to
they're
back in the
terrible.
day.
On HBO Max, they'll play the same ad 3 times in a row for the ad block.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Dude, so I have
I'm-
I have the Phoenix Suns app for all the Suns games. It's the same commercials. I swear to you. I was telling my lady, I'm like, we're gonna by like game 41, I'm gonna see the same commercial 500 times. They're still playing Christmas commercials. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, what are you doing here? Like, come on, man.
Dude, I forgot how good Apple TV was. 'Cause I'm caught up on a lot of stuff on like Ted Lasso. God,
And
that
the
show
damn
I heard it was
prescription
really funny, yeah.
commercials.
Oh,
Ads
Yeah,
are
it's
coming to Apple
always prescription
TV.
commercials.
Always
They're-
prescription bullshit.
Yeah.
They're just the lowest on the subscriber game right now, unfortunately. Because they got some
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Just
I
no
never
one.
even consider Apple. I have Hulu on
Exactly.
HBO Max.
Yeah, you're not in the
Yeah.
minority.
things
I
like
just-
like that Clooney and Pitt movie Wolves. That was really good. I watched
I like
that.
HBO.
I just keep watching The Sopranos.
Sopranos. I was to say, keep watching
The
Sopranos.
Wire.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Sopranos.
Max has great stuff too. The
I
Penguin
watched
was.
Rome.
man,
Oh yeah, I heard Penguin was great.
Yeah,
I'm a
Penguin's
man.
Super
fantastic.
Mario
Penguin's really
fan.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard it was great.
phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
really shows you how evil someone can be.
Oh,
It
you
sounds
know
so
what-
simple, but
You know
man.
what show's really good on HBO Max? And for
Winning Time.
anyone who's
Oh.
in chat too, The Leftovers.
Oh,
I don't know that one.
okay.
Phenomenal. And it
HBO
takes about 5-6 episodes to like really like grasp that first season. Then after that, it's just like every episode is a payoff, and you're just like, oh my god, how does this keep getting better?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's impressive. That's
There's this
true detective.
There's a documentary on HBO Max I have to recommend every time. It's called The Life of Crime, and it's a 3-part documentary. and this documentarian follows these 3 people over 30 years and just their life of crime. It is.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
I
Over
don't wanna-
30 years.
Yeah, it's 30 years. It's like an hour each part of the documentary, and it is the craziest shit I have ever seen. I don't want to spoil it, but it's. I truly was like felt insane after watching it. Like I needed to be put into an asylum. I was like,
I love shows like that. I got to watch that.
It was the craziest shit I've ever. Sees them like doing crimes and doing this. It's not for the faint of heart though. They show some crazy shit, but it's a 30-year documentary filmed. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
That's really cool.
Yeah, HBO Max, man. It's a good.
Max
good
is
service.
great.
HBO, man. Home box office network.
I go in and out on Max.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes really long gaps between stuff I want to watch on there.
Yeah.
I'll go in and out on everything.
Yeah.
I see. I do that, but like Apple TV, I haven't yet because I had the Mac Studio and a couple other things. I got like a couple of years free. And for some reason, every time I turn it on, there's always something I want to watch. They're actually been fairly consistent. Man, you know what I think about? I don't. It's not that they're releasing a lot. It's just I like everything they put out.
It's quality.
Well, and unlike others, they're doing weekly releases, and then they do a new show right on the last episode.
Yeah, right in the last episode. Then the next new show starts.
Like with Siloed, the last episode. Then Severance was also that night.
Yeah, that's how they kind of keep it. Yeah, it's nice.
It's so simple, yet other streaming services suck at it. I don't understand.
Well, see,
like Nintendo does it.
I also like the dump at once. You know, like next week or what is it? No, this week I think.
Cobra Kai's next week.
Is it next week? Yeah, next week. Cobra Kai.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, they're gonna just dump all that, and I'm gonna binge the fuck out of it. And I'm gonna love it,
dude. Cannot wait.
So,
that trailer.
I love binging as a consumer, but if you're gonna keep me subscribed every month, you got to put a shitload out that I like.
Did you guys watch Squid Games too?
Which one?
I haven't watched season 2. I've only seen the first season.
My wife begged me to watch it, and I was like, "All right, dude, let's watch it." And it truly was way better than the first season.
Third season's June.
Yeah, I think that what they did is just split up the season into 2
They filmed it at the same time.
They filmed it at the same time. Technically, it's still a third season. I see. I'll Squid Games 2 was, I don't know if it was as good as season 1, but
I think it was pretty. Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, season 1 was like had that wow factor to it.
Season 2 feels like it's set in something.
It had, exactly. I was gonna say it left some twists and some turns. So
and that's what I think. Season 3 is going to bring it home and it's going to be fucking. Good. But
it's really part 2.
Yeah.
Of season 2.
But anyways. All right, we can talk about shows all day, but we have
anyways.
Podcast,
I think Stash was trying to make a point. I think
there was a point in there where the point turned into, "Hey, let's just talk about all our favorite shows."
It's the cost of entertainment. Right. If the juice is worth the squeeze, I'm down paying $70. I'm down to do that for Tears of the Kingdom for games that are worth that price. Okay, but don't be trying to charge me $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, okay, or DK Country Returns.
It didn't even hit 2 million. I think 1.5 million copies sold. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Yeah, just be consistent with your pricing. Like I would have paid $50.
Yeah, I think that would have
for Prime Remastered, but they gave it to us for $40. But then the other games were more expensive.
I have a theory they gave us Metroid Prime Remastered for $40 because right after that they announced Tears of the Kingdom was $70. Like within a week or something. So I think that was like the soften the blow. It's like, hey, look over here a little bit. All right, $70 game. We're like, oh shit.
Part of that may have also been to hopefully bring more people into Metroid.
I think that too, to bring the fans in.
Yeah, it's more niche.
That's
I think
actually a very fair point as well.
So the last Switch 2 thing that I see on that chart there was just Andrew Wilson. Just look, guys, CEO of EA, whenever Andrew Wilson comes up anywhere, no one likes the conversation that's about to happen. He gets a lot of shit, as he should. He's one of the pioneers of FIFA Ultimate Team before he was ever CEO. So all the Ultimate Team microtransactions, he was one of the pioneers of that. So, notably investors love him. Everyone else hates him. Yeah. That being said, he was asked about Switch 2 and supporting Switch 2, and he actually gave a very lengthy answer. But what matters the most out of that answer is, essentially that he said FC and Madden are coming to Switch 2.
Yeah, dude, that should have
He
happened.
literally just said it out loud. He's like, Switch 2 is going to massively benefit FC and Madden, which, okay, FC is technically on Switch. Madden's not. That's a new announcement.
Yeah.
I think he forgot for a moment that Madden's not actually on Switch.
I would have loved to play that on the Switch.
So if we get the full version of Madden on Switch 2, that would be sick. The full version, not some cut down shitty version.
You're right.
Yeah, missing franchise mode.
Yeah. But yeah, only what I care about. Yeah, fuckers. Anyways.
Or it's 3 years ago's arcade version.
Oh, yeah, arcade version. Back on the Wii, you got arcade version of it, not the real Madden. Or like Wii U would be like a 3-year-old version, not the current one, but yet they're charging the current prices.
Right.
Anyway, so if we get the legit current version of Madden, that'll be sick. And his other comments on it were just really complimentary. They're planning to bring other games as well. Obviously, he's not talking about. It was just kind of interesting because we know no other major third-party AAA studio has said anything. They've all just kind of been like, "Oh yeah, Switch 2 looks cool."
Yeah.
Like, because they're all under NDA, right? Like, clearly, they're not allowed to talk about it until a certain day, and that day is probably April 2nd. But
I think I read last week that they're expecting Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor to come over. Maybe launch day, possibly.
Yep.
So that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, EA is a shitty company, but I enjoy some of the games.
They do have some good games here and there. I mean, that new Battlefield looks promising at the moment. We'll see.
Dude, I want Skate 3. Like, what are we doing here?
Skate 3 would be sick. And aren't they also the publisher for that one studio, like It Takes Two?
Yep.
Or,
yeah, it's Brothers, right? A Way Out.
A Way Out.
The new one that looks incredible, Split Fiction.
Split Fiction, yeah. So, and they're the publisher for all that stuff. I know it's a smaller studio, and it's more so we just trust the guy that runs the studio. But EA does publish that stuff. So, look, it's one of those things. It's kind of like, there was some shitty stuff with Ubisoft as well, but every now and then they put out a game you want to play, like the Prince of Persia last year.
Man, such a good game.
Great game, and studio's gone now.
Yeah. Sequel canceled, all that. Or DLC or whatever it was.
DLC,
yeah.
It's. I think everything is riding on this Assassin's Creed game coming out.
Everything.
That's why it was delayed.
It's got so much pressure on it. It can't. There's no matter what, it can't deliver.
Here comes Microsoft swooping them in.
You could sell 20 million and it somehow wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything.
They're in such trouble as a company.
I always say underperformed.
Yeah, they're in
However, they are the first company to release a quadruple A game.
That is true. Skull and Crossbones, man.
Just want to say,
hey, Ubisoft, if you just care about overall sales numbers, like just how many copies you sold, look, here's the strategy to make Shadows blow up, and I'm going to tell you because this worked for 2K back in the day. $20, charge $20. That's it. Day one, $20. How do you think Madden went ahead and got that exclusivity license? Well, when a game comes in that's almost just as good, if not better in some regards, and it's only $20 in the store shelf next to your $60 Madden, it sold very well. 2K5 sold very well. You want Shadows to sell 20, 30, 40 mil? $20 day one will probably do it. People will be willing to try out. They even just see the shitstorm. They'll try it for $20.
Hey, check out this screen. Can I share something real quick?
Sure.
All right. So I was looking at this report, right? So this is the top 20 games in 2024, the sales.
Yep.
Sales chart. I highlighted in yellow, right? Games that are not currently on Nintendo, but that I fully expect to come to Nintendo. And I was just thinking about, think about the install base, right? The user base, the community, all the people that buy Call of Duty that are not on a Nintendo platform. So we know we're getting Call of Duty. EA Sports College Football. I mean, if we're getting Madden.
If we're getting Madden, we got to be getting Madden. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Sparking Zero. Yeah, Bandai Namco, they got their own studio or division for Switch. FIFA, Elden Ring. I highlighted Hogwarts Legacy in green because I read an article with one of the Warner Brothers people that they're planning on bringing Director's Cut to next gen. So that'll be, If you
That'd be great.
played Hogwarts on Switch and you've played it on PS5,
I beat it on Switch. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
my lady has it.
Here.
There's a huge difference, right? So
Yeah.
it's totally actually worth a director's cut in this sense.
Yeah.
I didn't highlight Dragon's Dogma. I don't know. I mean, it's Capcom, maybe.
The first
it-
one's on the Switch, right?
Yeah, but Dragon's Dogma 2 kind of chugs a little bit on the PS5. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
That's.
it struggles quite a bit. So maybe, but
I think GTA 5 will come to the Switch
yeah,
before
did-
6, or
Yeah, I
if
didn't-
6 even happens.
I'm not 100% right if GTA 5 will. I think GTA will. But Minecraft, we already have that on Switch.
Yep.
But of course, we're going to get it again.
Yep.
And then Rebirth and Tekken. So, all these games have not been on a Nintendo
Yeah.
console. And so I was just thinking about this on the grand scheme of it, right? It's everyone's saying there's no way that the Switch 2 can do better than Switch 1. And it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be the best selling console of all time. It doesn't have to do better than Switch 1 to be successful. But at the same time, I'm I mean,
I think it.
I look at all these games and their player base.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
they
exactly.
migrate
Yeah.
over,
I think it will do that better than the Switch did.
yeah.
People over.
So if everyone who bought a Switch stays, or even,
Yeah, 70% at least.
70%.
Yeah.
and then you get these people to come over,
Yeah.
and then you get some PC people to come over because they see the mouse mode and they're like, oh, this is actually cool. It actually works. This
Yeah.
is very intuitive. Before you know it, you might be in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think.
Yeah.
All
But I
right.
don't see it bombing.
Let's see here. Let's just get to the Q&A. We'll go there. I had a potential fourth topic. I think we're good. We've had a good one. Let's get to the Q&A here from the anyone who's watching live. You can still super chat to get your Q&A questions in if you want. Let's go ahead in order here. Jim's did a member chat and said, "Hi, a possible Pokemon Presents for Pokemon Day." I mean, I think that's just
Yeah.
Probably a
happening.
given at this point.
yeah.
I
mean,
think, definitely I see the classics come to Nintendo Switch Online possibly.
that I don't know.
Yeah, they're too much money.
Yeah,
Virtual
they-
Console, they sold so much on 3DS. That's my only reason.
Yeah. I don't know, Pokemon Company's very strict with those mainline ones, man.
Okay.
We'll see, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
want it so bad.
Nintendo probably wants it because they think it'll help push NSO subs. But
Yeah.
I think we'll get remakes announced either in Let's Go form or
Let's
Or
go Gold and
or-
Silver probably.
yeah, Gold and Silver needs to probably happen.
you never
next.
know. Yeah, I don't know. Because like when they did Gen 6 for Legends, I was like, whoa. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. We had a 500 yen super chat come in from Karkun saying, "What game ports would you actually buy and play for Switch 2? Not just it'd be good for Nintendo as we are fans." It's funny. I'm gonna
That's
let
a
this
good
one come up.
question.
I had this question last night on my live stream, so I'll let you guys answer this one. What game ports would you actually buy on Switch 2?
I don't think I'm willing to play through Elden Ring again. I platinum that. That's a long game. As much as I would like to, I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth. I spent over 200 hours in Rebirth again.
Yeah.
I love that it's coming to Switch, but I don't think that's a game I would want to buy again. There's too many other games to play. This is a really good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest.
Yeah.
For me, it probably, I don't know. I'm trying to think the specific game. It would probably be something along the lines of FF7 Remake or Rebirth, or maybe the one of the two new Yakuza games, like a Dragon or Infinite Wealth, or Elden Ring or Metaphor. It would probably be something RPG. I feel like the Switch is already such a phenomenal console for RPGs because of the play it at home, play it on the go. RPGs tend to be long, grand adventures that will suck up dozens and dozens of hours. So having it on the fly, I could see myself playing it at least FF7 remake again, because that
Yeah.
one's not quite as big as Rebirth. Rebirth is still fresh, but I'd probably go back and play
Yeah.
remake again.
I just
Yeah,
beat remake
any
like last month.
JRPG.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the same for me.
Or Diablo 4, another one. Diablo 4.
If Nintendo added a achievement system, I would go back and play those. I think that would be really fun. If they did, I would do that on Nintendo. I would actually double dip and go do that. I'd be like, yeah, you guys are starting an achievement ecosystem. I'm in from the beginning, because I didn't start caring about that on PlayStation until maybe 2020. COVID times. I'm like, yeah, this will be fun. Get trophies.
Eric, is there any games you'd buy if they got ported over?
I mean, Red Dead 2 would be a good one.
Yeah, great choice.
That's a good one.
That'd be one that I would
one-
really consider actually buying. I know I haven't.
Well, we already
actually
know
played.
it's a fantastic
Yeah.
game, so we don't
Right.
got to worry about wasting your money on a bad game.
Right. So that I think that's kind of one that I would think that I would definitely consider buying
Yeah,
if it can.
maybe Cyberpunk, if they bring that over, I'd probably double dip on that.
Yeah.
If it runs good, if it's optimized right.
I'm not sure if I would get like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 if it comes over, but I would consider the one that releases in November this year on Switch 2, whatever Call of Duty that ends up being. I'd probably pick that up. Just because I remember one of the greatest things when they brought Black Ops on Wii U was there was a nice little community of us playing Wii U COD, baby. Something about wanting to go back to that, get the Nintendo community COD going. I don't know, something about that makes me smile. Even though I have Game Pass and I literally don't have to pay for it, hey, I might buy the first one.
I want to mention real quick, the question doesn't ask like older games, so I will throw in real quick. There are games coming. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
If that would run on nice on the Switch 2, I would totally buy that and play it on the Switch 2.
Visions of Mana. I haven't played it yet. I'll check that out if it comes to Switch 2.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna play the beta for Wilds this weekend. I played in the first one, and it was a little concerning.
Well, we'll see how you feel after this weekend.
Well, I'm hoping it's better because I want to see it come to Switch 2. But it felt very unoptimized. So my hope is that it runs a lot better, which will then give me hope that can run on Switch 2.
You know, I said it. I never beat Elden Ring, so Elden Ring, I would probably end up finally beating it if it was on Switch 2. And hopefully we get Night Rain then, and then just go right into that after the DLC, whenever I finish the DLC. You know, because I love RPGs, but I'm very picky about ones I put my time into because there's just like I ain't got the time I once did.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't play them all. But Elden Ring, I already know is really good, and I really loved it. And the only reason I got distracted is because I was playing other things like Tears of the Kingdom, and it's like, okay, I need to get back to this at some point. And then I kept thinking, man, the longer I wait to get back into it on PC, the closer I'm getting to Switch 2. So at some point, maybe I just wait for that. Especially if there's a cross-save feature, because that would be sick. That's one of my favorite things about Witcher 3 is I can play it on PC, and it's the same save file on my Switch.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's fucking rock.
But then you've lost your flow and you suck again, and you got to get good all over again.
It does happen. It does happen going between PC and Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be less going from PC to Switch 2. We'll see. But either way, I really hope cross save. If they start cross saving a lot between PC and Switch, I will double dip. No fucking problem, man. That'd be great. So almost anything. All these multiplayer games too. Like, you know, I try to think of you know, obviously there's ones already on Switch like Fortnite and Apex Legends and all that, and they'll just be better. You know, they'll get updates and be better versions. But there'll probably be some multiplayer games that come over, like the Master Chief Collection. That might be really cool. I never bought the original Master Chief Collection. Obviously I grew up Halo 1 through 3, big deal. So that might be fun. Again, kind of like that COD experience. You're getting that OG experience of maybe potentially a bunch of first-time players on a Nintendo system. for
Yeah.
Halo. That would be really kind of neat. Seeing if they end up loving that trilogy as much as I did growing up. But yeah, there's just a lot, like because look, while I own multiple platforms, I don't buy everything. I can't. And there are just some things that if I had the Switch 2's convenience, I would probably play more often. Like it's hard for me to always find time to sit in front of my TV to play games.
Yeah.
That's one thing I loved about Switch is I could look.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do it, but if I got to take a bath, I might as well play some Switch while I'm in it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying do it. It ain't waterproof. Let me tell you, there might have been a Switch lost at one point in the 7 years here to a bathtub incident, but yeah, just thankfully it was only a light. It was only a Switch light, but still was painful. Still was painful that I couldn't get it to turn back on. I'm like, yeah, it's done. Just put it in rice. No, rice ain't saving this. Let me tell you right now. That trick isn't actually legit anyways, let alone for a non-waterproof device that just lets it flow in. No, you ain't saving it. That takes a dunk, it's over. Anyways, so no, there's a lot of games. So I'll just stop right there because I could just go on and on and on over games that I would just actually play just because I can play them anywhere. Cool. I think we all said something. Andrew, did you throw a couple out?
No, I've been struggling. I don't know which one. I think, we haven't talked about it, but I've been really wanting to play. Wait, what?
Astrobot.
Astrobot. That would be cool. I'm really looking for a new RPG. So I think Final Fantasy, what is it? 14, the online one?
The online one?
Mhm.
There you go.
I think that can get brought over and I'd actually play it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, they make World of Warcraft playable on there. I'll dabble.
Oh, I'll do that too. That's true.
I got it on PC. I'll dabble on it on Switch too. I'll fuck around. It's gonna suck with a controller, but hey, I got mouse controls.
Yeah.
Plug a keyboard in, and it's gonna be like the same game. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the next super chat here. Coming from Demonic Brawler says, "Will all the NSO controllers work on Switch 2?" I mean, they just use Bluetooth, so I would assume they'd all work.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of charging on the
Yeah.
side, no.
Yeah.
You have to keep your old Switch or buy like that Switch charger stand they released.
I mean, I'm sure they might make adapters or something too.
I just
Somebody
don't.
might.
I mean, third party company might try to
Yeah.
make adapters. I would not. I would not. I would
I would be
just buy
surprised,
the
but-
charging stand.
I mean, yeah.
Just buy the charging stand because like you can't use them when they're on the side of the system anyways. They're kind of
Right.
useless. They are hilarious looking though.
Hmm.
Can you imagine if they put GameCube ones on there and they make ones that you have to magnet to the side and it's sideways with the GameCube controller? That'd be hilarious.
Hey man, if the screen rotates and it stays in,
No,
some
they
nice,
just gotta make a one GameCube controller that splits down the middle, and you can use it like Joy-Con.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh baby, Nintendo, hire me!
Now
I
do
finally came up
do-
with an idea.
Do that with the 64 controller.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, there's one in every crowd. All right.
right.
All right. Let's go to the next one here. Every day, every time, every week.
Yeah.
NFL Blitz, NBA Jam.
Yep.
Bring it back.
He's gonna do this $5 super chat every week. He's
Speaking
trying to
it into-
bring
Speaking into existence.
needs
Right.
into existence. He actually had another super chat that for some reason
Yeah.
I couldn't. Eric saw me.
Yeah.
It literally didn't pop
It
up. I
did not
couldn't
pop
grab
up
it.
in the chat.
But Demonic
at all.
Brawler
This is
said,
weird.
"I'd like to see a Simpsons game collection with all Simpsons games included, including the arcade game, but not Hit and Run. Give us a remaster or remake for that one." Damn, someone doesn't want the OG Hit and Run.
Didn't somebody make it in like Unreal Engine or something like last year or something like that?
Sure.
It was like on YouTube. I remember.
Too.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's look
It
collections
looked
like that.
incredible. Yeah.
I'm all for collections like that. It's
Yeah.
great. And some of the Simpsons games are all right. I don't find any of them to be fantastic, but they're fine. And if you're a huge fan of the show, they're even
Yeah.
better, right? Like
Yeah.
a quality, decent quality game for a show you really like it can go a long way. So
Yeah.
I'd be down for the arcade. It could beat 'em up.
sure. Yeah, exactly. Joey Pitts for $2 said, "Can we ever see Earthbound come back?" I just don't think so.
Ask Reggie.
Because he has a
I say it's 50-50, and I will continue to have hope until the day I die. Literally.
Which hopefully isn't right before the next Earthbound.
Yeah, hopefully not.
To throw back to the conversation earlier.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, I just don't see it.
Which one never came to America? 3?
Monthly 3.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they can translate it finally.
That's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
I know you're being serious. Like,
They can.
they
Yeah, they
can.
can.
Already do.
Yeah. Trying to have some
People who did the
wishes.
fan translation handed it to Nintendo and said, "Here, do what you want with it."
Yeah.
And Nintendo, what we want to do is never bring it back. Have a good day. This was just me doing a little test super chat because since that one didn't show up, I wanted to make sure that future ones were going to show up. Tony came in here and said, "Chrono Trigger and port pleaser Nintendo." Okay.
Yes, please. Chrono Trigger.
Tony was saying he wants Chrono Trigger to come to NSO Super Nintendo. That's I was talking to him about it.
Yeah. And we should also do 2D HD. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I agree. It's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, come on. Please.
30 years. That makes me sick.
Demonic Brawler comes in and says, "Will Nintendo let NSO members get first dibs on Switch 2 pre-orders?" We don't know. It's a big fat maybe. I don't like. I can't decide if I like it or not. It's like I am an NSO member, so like, oh yeah, cool for me. But I'm like, but we'll see. I don't know what their strategy is. I know a lot of people like that idea. Well, yeah, because it so happens a lot of people that watch Nintendo content creators are also the people playing online with each other.
Yeah.
So we all have NSO subs.
Yeah.
So like, my friends that don't have it.
In their defense, though, would you rather the Switch 2s go to the Switch subscribers, or would you rather it go to scalpers? I'm just saying.
That's the option.
I mean,
what if it's one per account that's on NSO, but then the scalpers realize, hey, we could just buy a family account, 8 accounts, 8 Switches. Say scalpers will find a way around. When there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
1 per family account for the first 6 months.
Oh God.
That would be a fight. That would be a fight. And so, who gets it? Look, I'm just buying Mario Kart. We're all just gonna play Mario Kart. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
We're all playing Mario Kart.
Right.
Oh man. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what Nintendo's plans are with that? Demonic then goes, will Mario Kart 8 stop selling when 9 comes out?
Nope.
No.
Not at this rate.
I'm gonna say it'll still sell some. I think it's gonna hit 70 mil eventually on Switch. But I think sales will slow a little because people start to gravitate to, hey, I want to Switch 2. Hey, I want the new thing.
Yeah.
But not everyone's gonna have a Switch 2 this next holiday. Not everyone's gonna have the ability then to play Mario Kart 9 this next holiday. So I still think you can see 1 or 2 sales this upcoming holiday with another holiday bundle. So yeah, I kind of feel like it'll slow. It'll be slower than it's ever been, but we're also going to be in year 9. So shouldn't it be slower than it's ever been anyway? You know, so like, is it because of Mario Kart 9 or is it just because we're in year 9? I don't know. But I do think that a new system out with a new version is going to slow it down some, sure. But I think the impact comes once the install base on Switch 2 is big enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that could be as soon as year 2 if we're hitting this 19 to 24 million mark. So we'll see. But I think for at least this first year of Switch 2, it'll have some impact. But like everyone that's buying Mario Kart 9 already has 8 Deluxe, so it wasn't like we were the ones that you were going to sell new copies to anyways, right? You know, little Timmy that's getting his $100 Switch Lite this upcoming holiday needs something to play. Sorry, I'm trying to help out the Scrooge family out there. You always screw over little Timmy. Anyways, next up we have Dragon Quest remake. Will it sell 1 million plus?
yes.
Did it?
Yeah, I think it
Did
did, possibly.
Did it?
Oh,
Yeah, it did.
HD?
The 3 HD go over million?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think like 2 or 3 million.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was hearing.
It did amazing.
Fuck
I think
yeah.
they did say it slowed down a lot after the first few months, but
What a surprise! It's like no one can be evergreen but Nintendo. Did they lower the price after a month? Because that usually is the indicator that no one's buying it anymore.
They sold 2 million copies in 3 weeks.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's
good.
yeah.
3 weeks. Damn.
Yeah, and for once, it surpassed Square Enix's expectations. Finally,
They needed one. They needed one in the barrel there.
Yeah, right.
it did.
I think
Now
12
we're
will too.
About 2 and 3 getting canceled. 1 did it, or 3. Technically, 3 did it.
Yeah.
The prequel. All right. Tony, what are the chances of getting Black Myth Wukong on Switch 2? That's right. I now know that that's what BMW means after last night.
Yeah, I was like,
No
what the
idea
hell
what
does
it
that
meant.
mean?
I'm like, why are we talking about the car company? What is happening?
Don't you know we already got it? You didn't see that little rip-off Wukong game?
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah.
I'm playing Black Myth Wukong on Switch right now.
All right.
It's a total knockoff. It's great. Gosh, do I
It
think
is. It is coming to Series S.
Well,
Well, that
Series
makes
S
me
or
say yes,
Series
but-
X?
I just Googled it because I know there was a lot of back and forth on whether or not it could run on Series S.
Yeah, that's
But-
why they said it didn't come initially. Yeah.
As of January 3rd, it's a Forbes article. They said we're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong on Xbox Series X and S.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if it's on S, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
think
much
there's
they asked.
way more potential sales on a Switch 2 for them than there is on Xbox.
Yeah.
So they're going to put in the effort for Series S, and they should put in the effort for Switch 2. They should want to make money.
Might be why they're bringing it to Series S.
Yeah, it
So
could
they
be.
can port it.
Or maybe they were already working on the Switch 2 version. They're like, hey, why don't we just throw this on Series S too? Because we're already. Does Black Myth Wukong run on Steam Deck? That I'm actually curious about.
Let's see.
Because
See if it's Steam
from what
Deck
we know
certified.
about Switch 2, it is more powerful than a Steam Deck. Does it run on Steam Deck?
Here we go. Someone posted 4 months ago on Reddit. Finished Black Myth on my Steam Deck. I enjoyed the game a lot, but I would not recommend you play it on Steam Deck. I don't want to read the whole thing. Why? I mean, but it is on there.
Yeah, so some people are saying that it's enjoyable, but there's some issues because it keeps it running into RAM issues.
That sounds like a Switch port to me.
Yeah. How much RAM is on the Steam Deck?
They have 16, I think.
And what's the Switch 2 supposed to be? 12?
12, yeah.
12, and then
But also got to remember, it doesn't look like Black Myth was ever customized.
Yeah.
Steam Deck, they're just running it like it's a PC.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So, like, with optimizations, could it? Yeah. I mean, if it's going to run Series S, that's only a 10.
Yeah, I'd say it's 10, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't think they optimized it for Steam Deck. But the fact that it just runs, and some people are saying it's fine. It's just
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
yeah. Like then a lock 30 FPS on Switch 2. Why not?
yeah, why not? Right.
All right. We had Wink Demand come in and say, if by any chance PlayStation and Xbox go all digital, I think that's more likely than I want to really think it is. And Nintendo continues with physical games. GameStop could rebrand as Nintendo stores nationwide.
Or just become Funko Pop exclusive stores.
Right.
They're just going to become a PopCon that sells
Yeah. Plushies and pops.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Like, a lot of these general consumer stores are slowly, like, if you go to the electronics section, it's slowly, like, mostly Nintendo in the video game area and not a whole lot of other stuff.
Yep.
Like, I've seen a lot of them consolidate Xbox and PlayStation to the same little row, and then Nintendo having a front to back full aisle. They'll put even some of the board games over there, and the Nintendo Legos will sit there, and all the merch, and like you'll go down. And every time I walk down it, like at a Best Buy, dude, there's like 10 people in this Nintendo aisle. I'm like, yeah. Like no one's in the PlayStation. What do you? Unless you buy in the system, you got no reason to be over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nintendo's going to maintain that presence because the sales are there, and it also helps that they've expanded into that merch game. I think a lot of retailers are happy about that too.
Yeah,
you can put together some really compelling Nintendo sections that make people spend money. Let's see here. Next up, we have Demonic Brawler says, "Man, if I die before Switch 2 comes out."
There you go.
We feel ya.
Outside, bubble wrap, eat healthy. Maybe get one little just general doctor trip sometime in the next couple of weeks to make sure nothing's about to get you. You don't know. If you want to be sure you make it. Hey man, I gotta go under the knife and get surgery here in like a month or so here. So hey, I gotta hope that I make it out of there. All right. If I make it, you're gonna make it. All right.
What are you having surgery on?
Hernia.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
It's a really bad one. It's a really bad one. The hole off the initial look is 6 inches by 3 inches.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
that's big. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing that I can't afford, but I'll have to deal with it. The Demonic Brawler. If games sell for 70, will NSO vouchers go to 120?
Possibly.
I will say no.
What are they, 100 now?
Yeah, they're 100 now. And I'll say no. If they even keep the vouchers, because sometimes they take them away. But if they keep them around, I'm going to say no, because I think they view the voucher system as a way to push people to digital.
Yeah.
And if they can be like, oh, we can get two $70 games and save 40, but that'll just make more people more likely to go digital. Where
Yeah,
Nintendo,
I mean, that's tempting. Yeah.
That's very tempting.
Yeah.
Even people that buy physically.
Me, I was like, damn, for real?
I just paid $40.
Yeah, it's very tempting.
Sick, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. They could increase it. I feel like if they want to keep pushing more digital sales, you don't. EA college football needs to come to Switch 2, says Demonic Brawler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're getting Madden, I don't know why we won't get that. They go together. They just have to make it. They have to figure out the draft class problem. Why we can't port our draft classes in. We couldn't do it this year. They need to make that change, because I'm not going to care about the college game until I can port my draft classes in. So I'm not even going to buy another one until they.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to go on sale. I just haven't picked it up.
All they really have to do is just give, how they've struck deals with the college, athletes for name, image, likeness.
Why did they get like $500 or something? I heard.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that
To every player, that's in the game.
I mean, give them a couple extra, give them an extra 100, whatever, and then just say you can be mad.
Free copy of the game.
They got to figure it out.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out. I hope they do. I'm worried they won't ever, but I really hope they do, because it kind of kills the college game that I can't continue their careers in Madden. So
yeah.
That was a huge appeal of the college game. I'd make all my own draft classes, so I'd be like 8 full seasons built out. Sexy Kills comes in. Love the username. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Early day collections for Switch is a success, will they make a second one with the PlayStation 2 games? Anyone want to take this? I'm not big in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff.
I can't wait. This is one of my most anticipated games of the month, but it's a niche series, man. I don't realistically 100,000 copies sold on the Switch. I think online the hype is nostalgic. People like, oh man, I can't wait to play this. But when the time comes, did you pick it up? Did you even know it released? So I don't know.
It's going to come down no matter what to what their target is for it. Like what sales are they trying to hit, and did they hit it? That to justify.
Yeah. What their goal is, and I can't see it.
Because we can sometimes be like, oh, it needs to sell like 5 million. I'm like, does it? Maybe
No.
Maybe
Are they doing anything new with the collection? I remember when it got announced. Online battles.
Yeah.
Online battles and something. I can't remember. I talked about it in a video I made about upcoming games, but it just looks like straight ports.
Got it, with the online functionality.
Maybe a game that only released in Japan or 2, and then
If you pre-order it, comes with a physical card in there.
Yeah, I picked up Legacy Duelist Kingdom or some other game strictly just to get the cards, but it's like $8 or $10 on the eShop sale all the time. You know what I mean? These games don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who play you? It's not Pokemon. It's not.
So what we're hearing is very little faith. That is
Yeah.
enough to get that.
Thank you.
Get that other one.
Someone doesn't believe in the heart of the cards. Am I right?
Oh, all right. Boo Mini's asking the important question, the most important question of the night, in my opinion. How soon does an Ocarina of Time remake get teased?
I don't know. Do you think they do that, or do you think they just port over the 3DS version somehow?
Nah, we're getting a remake. We're getting a
Straight
full remake.
You have to pray for the
I think
remake.
so too.
We're getting the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment
Oh my
for
God.
Ocarina of Time. Not as long as a development cycle, but
Right.
And not split into
Imagine
3D.
how Navi looks.
yeah.
Next
Crazy.
year's the 40-year anniversary, so what better game to celebrate than the game that really put the series
Sure.
on the map?
Drop it
Did-
next year would be sick.
Did they do
Reveal
what
it
did they-
this year, September
You can run,
direct.
you can
The
run
big
next
one
year
more
as a
thing.
movie too.
Oh
You-
yeah,
to the
fair
movie, I
point. Yeah,
That'd be a great one probably to pair alongside the movie.
I'm nervous
So-
for that movie, man.
So the soonest we could see it, technically sometime this year,
Yeah,
that we can see it teased.
September sounds good if possible.
Yeah, if it's a next year game, September, that'd be a big drop at the end of the September direct.
Yep.
That would drive some hype.
Mhm.
Of course, you know me. I just want it on April 2nd. just tease me right then. Right then, baby.
I need it.
I don't care that it's a year away. Give it
Right,
to me. Just let me
agree.
know. Let me drool
right.
over Link waking up in his little treehouse and walking out to the world. Let me drool over it, please.
Man,
Oh man. Okay, and I think that's it. I don't think we have any other ones today. So thank you guys so much for those questions submitted in. Reminder that you guys can submit topics as well for future episodes if you just go join the Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime for as little as $1 a month. Thank you everyone for being here. We're gonna go around the room, let people know what we got going on, where they can find us, and then we're gonna head the hell out of here and we see you guys next week. So let's start with, you know what? Let's go in reverse order. Thunderstash.
Okay. So go check out my videos, please. I just put out 2. The first one was for Cronella's Mansion. This is a spiritual successor to Maniac Mansion, one of my favorite games. And it just hit Kickstarter yesterday. It's doing very well. It's already, I think, probably like 43 or 44% to goal after only a day. And the developer sent me out physical demo copies, like
Wow.
complete in their box for NES, GBA, and Game Boy Color. And so anyways, I played those games, got a whole video on it, giving my first impressions. And then I also got a early code from the developers for Ruffy in the Riverside.
Hell
And that's a game that's coming to Switch too. And you should definitely check this out because, I mean, this is a Nintendo podcast. And if you love Nintendo games, this is a game that needs to be on your radar, and you'll see why in the video. But I don't want to say too much. Very cool. And then I'm working on I got an early review code for Guns of Fury. Have you guys heard of that? That's the
I've heard of that.
Metroidvania
Yeah.
that looks like Contra and Metal Slug. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I'm playing that, and the embargo is up on the 12th, so I'll be posting that as soon as I'm allowed to. But I still need to beat it too. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll say that. So that's what I got going on.
Nice. All right, let's go to Andrew.
All right, just like I said at the beginning of the podcast, support small YouTubers. Go to the Andrew Collette Show. Just that's a bad joke. But
Get him,
We're
get
gonna-
him to 500K so you can no longer say under 5.
that's right. Let's see. My next video coming out is Paper Mario: The Origami King, a game I am personally not a fan of, but it is by far the most requested game on my channel the last 2
Wow.
years. So I'm doing it for the people. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Gamebird.
All right. You guys can find me on YouTube at Gamebird Classic. If you want to support a complete nobody on YouTube, you know where to find me. That's smaller than small. I have a couple videos that I just dropped on the channel. I did a video listing out some of the top features / upgrades that I really think we need with the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. And I think there's some really good stuff in there. I think even if Nintendo did half of it, we're in for a really, really nice treat when it comes to the Pro controller on the next console. And then I also just dropped a commercial for a phenomenal product called Stick Fix. Now, if you guys have been suffering from stick drift or any issues with your analog sticks, I know I certainly have.
Yeah, I have too.
Then you got to check out my new video because Stick Fix is the answer to all of your problems. Stick Fix changed my life, and I know it'll change yours too. Check out Stick Fix at Gamebird Classic, and that's all I have to say. Stick Fix.
I will say I agree too. Like after watching that, like it fixed everything for me. So no, for real. I mean, you guys gotta go check this out. If you have stick drift, this will fix everything. For real.
I feel like there's a live reaction happening tomorrow on my show. I gotta check out this Stick Fix thing. I'm curious. You got my curiosity.
I mean, you could just drop what you're doing and order now. 1-800-STICK.
I mean, look at the comments. The Great Reset even said that Stick Fix saved his marriage.
Perfect.
Right.
Not just his stick, his marriage too.
Right?
Both his sticks.
Amen.
Oh God! If you suffer from stick drift for more than 3 hours, consult your doctor.
I certainly have.
All right, Mr. Robot Joe. Look forward to that fact.
Yeah, right?
Monday through Friday, gaming news. Saturday, eShop videos. Sunday, hidden gems, top 10 Switch games, something like that. So find me on my YouTube channel at Mr. Robot Joe. Trying to grow my Twitter because I guess you have to do that to be a YouTuber. So at I'm Robot Joe on Twitter and Instagram. And thanks for having me, guys. This was a pleasure. It really was, man.
Yeah, that's heavy, man. I'm sure we'll get you on a future episode.
Awesome.
That's going to do it for episode 3 of season 2, guys. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. You can hear this podcast everywhere that podcasts are heard. I'm very consistent getting the audio version up. Not so consistent at getting the clips up. I have a clip ready to go from last week. It's uploaded. I just haven't hit publish yet.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm telling you, someday I'll be consistent with it. Someday. I don't know when that day is going to be, but it's going to happen. You guys can check out that channel if you ever want. It's an extra chance to see your favorite guest weeks after they were already on the show, because that's how long it takes for you to get the damn things out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a fun one. We'll catch you at the same time next week. And we got Nick Winoke and Super Metal Day 64 coming on. So it should be a nice little show next week for you guys. And this is where it gets awkward because I have no outro. Still.
Peace out.
I'm gonna